Good evening, everyone. I'm Tassenix, and welcome back to another, chill episode. Last episode was Conquest TB and chill. I had quite a bit to do. I pretty much knocked out Conquest earlier today. Might have a couple refreshes I could do, but yeah, it's another chill stream, another opportunity for Q&A with all of you. We can talk about Grand Arena. We can talk about whatever else in the game. We can talk about a bunch of stuff outside of the game. God knows. We've talked about food, travel, anything else. But how y'all doing tonight? And before we get any further, just a big shout out to everybody in my Discord community, everybody in the Swugga community in general, who showed out to Rangers charity stream today. Really appreciate everybody who joined. Your viewership was very appreciated, and especially an added shout out to anyone who donated. Few causes could be more relatable and more urgent than the mission of the American Cancer Society. So thank you guys. Thank you for supporting him. Happy Halloween. Yeah, Vin Altabi, I saw you over there. Black Hammer, happy Halloween. Same, likewise to you guys. Yeah, we had a great night tonight. Tons of kids showed out, got a bunch of candy from us. I took our daughter trick-or-treating earlier. She was a butterfly. She was a butterfly with wings, with, antenna on the headband, a plushy butterfly to take with her in one hand, candy bucket in the other. Yeah, it was a good time. To Akuma, hey, how's it going? Welcome back, man. Good to see the regular crowd rolling in. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's get the music rolling and get the show on the road. You guys know the drill. Start putting questions in the chat, and we'll do our very best to get those attended to. Holy crap, that's a lot louder attended. There we go. I think that's the volume you guys liked yesterday. Hey, Dojo Moto. Happy Hallows Eve. Appreciate you. Welcome. All right. First of all, anything I need to conquest? If I have refresh? Oh my god. Alright, we're taking the short path because... Yeah, I'm not doing it. Right? Yeah, I won't be. Do more another day. Alright, now that we've settled that. Raid. Got a few raid attempts to do. Alright. Akuma, my quick 2 cents at 2 a.m. over here. Appreciate you tuning in so late. Just like that we have 3 versus 3, I want a 7 versus 7 mode just to see how busted the team turn out. I mean, busted is the word, because busted they would be. It would be incredibly imbalanced. Hopefully you're at like the top of Kyber 1, because the folks who would benefit the most from something being incredibly imbalanced are the people that also have the most stats. That's my guess. Yeah, I see that, you know, I don't know why so soon after I kick off the stream, ads go off. I don't know. But fortunately, because of pills, nomads, and a fair handful of you who've been very kind as of late, most of you shouldn't be seeing ads right now, so... Yeah, 7 versus 7 mode. I don't know, man. The game has... it's simpler in 3 versus 3, right? Like... I'd rather see a new mode around 5 versus 5 than 7 versus 7. It would require so much more rebalancing effort from them. You know. You guys do anything good for Halloween? Who's watching this from the corner in a house party right now? We didn't have that back when I was doing house parties. But if we did, I would have been that kid. I would have been that kid. Unashamedly. Depressed Wampa, we need a vehicle mode for sure. That would be cool to see in game. Yeah, I have advocated for that before. I'm sure it's something they've considered. I'm not so bold as to believe that, you know, that I've thought of it and one of the devs haven't. But just hasn't made the cut yet. That's my guess. Black Hammer says, I know I asked you yesterday about Sabine, but for Galactic Legend Ahsoka, should I focus more on defense or on health? Health primaries where you can, and I have a speed arrow, but if you had a fast health primary arrow, that would be fine. It would be preferable, in my opinion, that she be in a 2-piece of defense. If you had to go with health, that is serviceable. Optimal defense, yeah. You're right to ask. Good question. You're watching while you're helping with a truck or tree. It's cold. Yeah, you told, you know, I'm not going to out you or anything, but you told me where in the world you are, and I'm actually surprised it's cold for you there. So, good on you, though. Yeah, I must have given away something like 8 pounds of candy. It's actually kind of light work. I expected more. Akuma says, I'd like to see something weird and funny. That's why I like 3 versus 3. Do I have the chat on, by the way? Damn it. I'd like to see something weird and funny. That's why I like 3 versus 3. It's unconventional. Also, many people don't like it, so it means faster GAC advancement for me. I mean, absolutely. There are a certain number of players who just find a distaste for it and are willing to suffer a rank loss, which I think is insane. I think that's insane. If the rank calculations for 3 versus 3 and 5 versus 5 were independent, fine. Don't care about 3 ever. But like to drag down your 5 versus 5 rank when you care about winning in 5 versus 5, ah, it's never made sense to me. Nevertheless, I actually personally know a number of these players that have that view, and it's like, not me. Would not be me. Not snow cold, but cold for you. Yeah, I mean, fair. Hmm. Don't take it easy on me, folks. We just kicked off the stream. Hit me up with your questions. Knocking out some raid fights, then we're going to go on to do TB. We've got some work to do. We've got some time. Time's on your side, but have your questions. God damn it. You're supposed to be dead. How about this? Okay, fine. Like, this is actually a really killer setup. Yeah, boy, because then we're going to go 1. Wolfman, have you been adjusting your GAC playstyle more after facing Herbert? Every match is bespoke. That's the short answer. So, for any player, if whatever their style I think they're playing, I'm going to try to play as counter to that as possible. That's the only strategy I'm actually eternally loyal to, is counter punching whatever it is I think that you're going to do. And as far as Herbert goes, the thing is, stronger mud wrestling style players than me have failed at beating Herbert in that way. I beat him going more efficient than me. I also observed that he was the type that he would wait you out. And so I decided to wait him out. And that proved, I don't know if it was pivotal, but I would say it was pivotal, at least psychologically. And I defeated him once and then once more. And then I lost the next time after that. But having defeated him twice, it was about being more efficient than he was. And in a meta where people are setting relatively light things, players that are, like I was able to do it in that instance, but I'm not pursuing it as like a philosophy. Whereas Fatal is seeing that, whether it's 3 versus 3 or 5 versus 5, meta has been trending towards efficiency. So there's merit in perfecting a style where you set as heavy as you feel you can, but then you're trying to do undermans with reasonably strong teams like Freya, like Namidala, and picking up banners such that you net more. And yeah, yeah. I expect players like Herbert will suffer against that type of strategy. Also, if you check his history, I don't want to subtract anything from this guy. This guy's an incredible player, okay? But as I expected, with the rotation of the end of the Dracron and everything that went with it, he hasn't been as successful because the meta under the Dracron was so rigid. And yeah, he had that down to a science. He had that perfected. Dangerous guy. Wampa asks, question, why do you think CG let the Underman team stay for the raid? I imagine that as a section of the player base, there are relatively few that can do it. I don't think that it's probably overall harmful to what they see as the bottom line. Because surely they intend that some number of players are going to buy resources so that they can do better in raid, right? Surely that's got to be. Wow, they're being generous. Normally they target the shit out of my squishies, and I have to restart this a bunch, but we're really lucky, and I'm just going to say it's because I always have this happen. Definitely, for sure, 100%. Yeah, I just imagine that they don't see it as harmful enough for them to address. Because there is a balance to be struck between, man, leaving this change as is costs us money, versus leaving this change as is makes the people who spend lots of money happy. So, MJ, what are you talking about? You don't have to Patreon sub to chit chat. I mean, if you want to join the Patreon chat where I'm usually lurking, $5 a month doesn't seem too high a hurdle to clear, but nobody ever has to pay me money to talk to me. But the patron chat's just reserved for patrons. Why? What's on your mind, man? Did I miss something you said above? Oh, you're busting my chops. All right, no worries, man. I was sitting here thinking, like, fuck, did I miss something? No worries. Yeah, no, no. You know damn well you don't have to pay me no money. Don't you play me like that. All right, Tuakuma says, what do you... Well, first of all, did I miss anything? Oh, Wolfman said, Fatal is trying to play 3 versus 5, and I'm here for it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to that. I might try to do... If you look at my history, I will do that where I think I can get away with it. But again, it's all on a case-by-case basis. It's not a real philosophy. The only thing I'm loyal to is what I think is going to work in this moment. That's it. So, yeah. Uakuma says, what do you think of full health sets for Leia? I like this question. I like it so far. Usually she's slower than the enemy GL anyway, so I might as well be extra beefy and remove a little bit of turn meter, a bit more turn meter from Drogon. So I will say that when GL Leia was new, I also had her in full health set. I thought that, that was intuitively the best way to go with it because of the, true damage based on her health, so fine. But what I found that for all the matchups, for every other matchup, it was not really a problem. To be, I don't know, like 550-ish. I think that's probably all the better that you're doing right now in full bulk is somewhere around 550. I have found that the only time that it is a disadvantage is if you're fighting a Leia. if you're actually doing Leia Mirror, which I was doing seasons ago. I really haven't been doing it recently. Most people are not setting Leia on defense. It's become out of fashion, passe, to put her on defense in a world where Galactic Legend Leia exists and Rey exists, and they're both generally on defense. And Leia is a pretty reliable solution to either. So, yeah, I think that my concern about the Leia versus Leia matchup is largely water under the bridge. I don't want to tell you you're wrong. Rock the health for yourself. My personal way of judging it is run a season of it here. If you're just getting this set up for this coming 5 versus 5 season, 5 versus 5, run it for a 3 versus 3 after that. And then after a season of both, weigh it out. How do you feel? You know? But the only time I felt that Leia was at a disadvantage with the pure bulk modding was in the mirror. About it. Depressed Wampa says, just pay the man, MJ. Ha! Yeah. Yukuma says, well, later... We'll get later turns slightly delayed, though, so that's the payoff. Yeah, there's a trade to be made, for sure. I pay Ranger to tell dad jokes, says MJ. You also have 4 kids. Dad jokes are tasks. Look, man, you know that you're not going to get treated any less here just because you're a patron. The patrons just, they get more time, more attention. That's how it is. MJ says... Tassenix, I have a bit of Star Wars cinema to talk about. I personally don't think nothing will top Andor. Unless we get a live-action Revan or Vitiate. Abeloth is a close nomination, which we all know is kind of on the near term, right? But I feel casuals don't know her as much as the other two. I'll be honest with you, I don't consider myself a Star Wars casual. I had to Google fuck Abeloth. Because when I saw that there was some kind of narrative direction in that season of Ahsoka, it was Ahsoka, right? Yeah, with Balin out there, and it's like, alluding to a dark presence, and I'm like, And I'm like, what are we talking about here? And then I Googled about the Great Mothers, and then I Googled about where the fuck they were, and then it's like something Abeloth, and then I read on Wikipedia about Abeloth, and I'm like, So I have no idea who the fuck Abeloth is, and I'm going to find out about it through the show. I'm assuming this is an extended universe thing that they're reintegrating. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, they're obviously very committed to that storyline because they recast after, what is his name, Ray Stevens died as Balin, which was just a killer casting. He was a great casting, man. All right, Akuma says, yeah, the Leia mirrors in Squad Arena are driving me insane when I'm slower. Yeah, okay, so that's still the case. I haven't had to do that in a while, but I would expect that is still the case. You might think that you being bulkier is to your advantage in the Leia mirror, and that is the theory I was operating under at the time. But there was, it's something where it felt like 3 out of 5 matches I would lose. That's too much. That's why I went back to more of a speed. Rioric says, Tass, which mod set should I farm for an accuracy primary? Well, it depends for whom you're asking. It's really, there's so few characters in the game that really want an accuracy primary. So it's really up to the character more than to the idea of which set on paper. And when I say that, let me just show you a couple examples. I know that my Mara Jade has one. So, and that's in a speed set because I just did this today, guys. I'm really actually pretty thrilled about this. I got her at 345 and you know what's coming. Boy. 91,000 health and just over 10,000. He used to be 11,000 on the nose, so I traded off a decent amount of offense there. But this speed effectively means, so him at 346 and her at 345 means that, what was it? I did the calculate. Any Exile Ezra 384 or slower. I don't care if it's under a Ray leadership, a JMK leadership. Well, I guess JMK kind of just out Star Killer anyway. Regardless, Ray leadership, like Ray Exile Ezra, doesn't matter. I'm too damn fast. So pretty happy about that. But yeah, so that's one of them. As far as accuracy arrow goes, who else? Night Sisters. There's one on Night Sister Spirit. I have her in an offense set, so offense set accuracy arrow. This is what I'm saying. Let me think. Who else? Who else has an accuracy? I don't know that there's anyone else, actually. I know folks kind of stand for accuracy arrow on Malgus. I'm not there. Not going to be doing it. I won't. I refuse. That SK modding is so good. Says, well, I appreciate it, man. I wanted to do this months ago, but I just straight up didn't have the mods. And I have great mods, but it would have cost me butchering characters that were more important than Starkiller, like Galactic Legends. So it took me a few more months to actually come up with the stuff, and here we are. Hey, Kim, good to see you in the chat. How's it going? Happy Halloween, everyone, and good evening, Tass. Good to see you. Welcome. Hope you had a good evening, filled with candy, as it were. My daughter went out as a butterfly with antenna and wings and all, and it was precious. He came back with a ton of candy, both from going around the neighborhood and from visiting Grandma earlier this afternoon. We have eaten a ton of candy. Dad definitely vigorously brushed the teeth with her, and now she is safely asleep. Mrs. T fixed Dad a hell of a steak. I drank a whole bottle of wine before we even started the stream. So I am just... And yeah, I'm here with all of you. It's good. All right. So hopefully that helps you, Rurik. Yeah, okay, that helps. Yeah, I mean, there might be more characters that benefit, but in my experience, not really. All right. Reds fan 111 says Leia should use a speed set and health set. Health primaries for circle, triangle, and cross. That is what I have. If you had an extraordinary health primary for arrow, and speed primary is 32 speed. So when I say extraordinary, I mean like 29. Maybe 28. Anything under 28 intuitively just feels too... Like, the point of being in a speed set is being fast. So why would you trade away speed in any real amount? So yeah. I personally don't have enough health primaries at high speed for the arrow slot to have my Galactic Legend Leia at a minimum of 570 without having a speed arrow. Like, I need to have her in a speed. So I've also not really been farming speed sets, health sets for some time. Lots of offense, some crit damage. Recently, in the last couple of months, a ton of defense. But yeah, really not a lot of speed. Show me your best accuracy arrow, says MJ. I mean, I don't know. How do you want to define that? Accuracy by speed. It is probably this very one on him. Yeah. On her Night Sister period. All right. Corey Spooner says, Tass, do you enjoy the PvE side of SWGGA? And secondly, when you started playing SWGGA, was your ambition to be the best PvP player in the game? Ah, man. This is first part's very interesting. Second part's very flattering. So thank you for both tabs. The PvE side of the game has grown on me as it's kind of an easy softball question, right? I guess it shouldn't surprise you that as my roster got larger and larger, the PvE stuff became less burdensome, easier. I'm overpowering a lot of it, right? So yeah, and then especially here in TB, as you'll see in a few minutes, I've got literally every Omicron in the game. And that's after prioritizing all the Grand Arena Omicrons I wanted, all the TW Omicrons that were required of me, and I've played in the top TW guilds in the world, so I had everything that was required of me at the time. All of these things were prioritized years and years ahead of like me placing my very first TB Omicron. Nevertheless, in about the last year or so, I've had enough resources where everything else is squared away. Literally every GAC W I'm done. So why not the TB? And when you start having that, it's nice, man. Like TB Omicrons allow you to just readily clear all the waves. Doesn't matter the stage. I mean, I guess you're mostly limited by how many Relic 9 characters you have on the squad. That is another thing that, you know, is largely opened up for me. So yeah, PvE has become something I've enjoyed more as time has gone on because it's felt less burdensome and more quick, and it's nice to feel like, you know, with less time than I used to spend, I can help my guild more than I used to do. So, yeah. Smegan13, if the stranger that we get is anything like the boss node in Conquest, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be something like that. Usually the characters we see in Conquest are a little overtuned, especially as boss node characters. But the core of the kit, of what you're seeing, I expect this, you know, to be largely the same. Kimmy, your kid's got a good haul? Nice, nice. And I haven't actually, you know, when I had my dinner and everything after we got home from trick-or-treating. And so I didn't want any candy. So I still haven't had any candy. And tomorrow I will exact the dad tax. I will be searching for mounds. We'll be searching for Butterfingers. There will be no Twix that survive my sight. Yeah? Like that. All right. Yeah, Stranger's gonna be good. All right, show me your best accuracy. Best speeds. I'm talking speed secondary. Yeah, it was gonna be this one, right? 25 speed on here. I have it sorted by speed. So there you go. Rabid Beaver rated in with 1 viewer. Welcome, welcome, Rabid. How's it going? You have a good time over there? Good checking in on you earlier. The scribe. Black Lion says, already demanded the dad tax. I feel sick. Yeah, I mean, you know, it'll be one of those things where I'll be up before she is, and I will take my due and organize it in a pile on my desk. But she will not touch, because she knows what's good for. Because you know, anything that she reaches for, she's gonna be going. That's mine. Arctic Gaming HD says, hello from the Temu Scribe stream. Nice. Well, welcome over here from Beaver. I guess you rated in for both Twitch and YouTube. Appreciate you, man. My app that's combining the chats here doesn't show the raid prompts, I guess. But yeah, welcome. We are just chilling here, taking questions from all of you. Mostly Swugga. It can be about whatever, but here we are. And I'm just needing to do my TB. Wait, did I knock out all my raid? I want to do that. I did not. I still did. Carry on, people. Wampa asks, question. What, in your opinion, is needed for people to care about TW again? So, personally, sandbagging has always been controversial in this game. But what I've always said is, CG came out years ago and said, we hear you. We hear that you think, you know, we hear you that you think that's a problem, and we don't think that. So yeah, so you know, live with that. So I think that sandbagging is a problem that's been just ignored. And there's so many other guilds that would be forced to condense up into gauntlet quality guilds, I think, if the option of sandbagging was removed. So I think that's part of it. I don't think that's a one size fits all solution by any means, but I've never criticized guilds for sandbagging because CG has said like it's legitimate. Like we don't see a problem with it. So how am I supposed to say that you're a dick for using a tactic that the developers say is fine? That said, I think that was a pretty lazy answer. I think they can do better. Surely you can do better. And yeah, I want to see. I want to see some type of address for that. One of the biggest problems with them doubling the size of the zones back in the day in TW is that there's so much more work to be done per zone, which is whatever on an individual basis. It's slightly more inconvenient, but it's actually hell for officers. And I have done my very best to avoid being an officer for years now because I appreciate all the stress that goes into it. I would say that a lot would be alleviated by expanding TW's runtime from 24 to 36 hours. Even just going that much would make things so much easier. Especially at the top of the game, you'd be unsurprised to know that when you're talking about a minority of players having everything required to do all this high-end stuff in the game, it's actually a fairly international group, right? So it's tough. It's tough for officers to manage that when we need to move through these zones, every so many hours, ideally every 4 hours, something like that. And when you're held up because a large percentage of your guild is asleep, that's tough, man. That's tough. There are any number of fights that I've been in and heard about where they ended up losing. They ended up losing because they just couldn't get enough participation in a timely fashion. And you can say that's part of the game too. You can, you could say that it's like, I don't have a lot of sympathy for that, but you're asking me. It's a minority problem. I will admit that it's not a large issue. Arctic Gaming says, "Was that 31,000 energy?" Yeah, man. I'm at a part of the game where I don't really need anything. You might say, "Oh, Tassenix, surely you could spend it on stuff that you could build into Gear 12 parts and salvage and stuff for Relic 8, Relic 9, stuff like that." So I could, but I've already got a lot of that as it is. I actually would prefer to just bank the energy, and then when a new Galactic Legend comes out, I'm actually having the luxury of taking it all the way to the max, ultimate and all, day one. And that's exactly what I did for Hondo. All right. Great question, though, Wampa. I like that. Reds fan 111 says, "What is your favorite weird mod?" Interesting. We'll have to take a look at that. Weird mod. Wow, I haven't thought about that in a while. And this year has been a good year for mods. I have produced some really great things. We'll take a look as soon as I finish what I'm doing here in Raid. That's an interesting question. See if I can answer an easier one in the meantime. Arctic Gaming says, "We generally beat our sandbag opponents. For us, it's all about showing up, sharing counters, and communicating drop battles." Respectable. How much bronzium wiring do I have? Yeah, we'll happily show you when I'm done here. Right, one more attempt to go. So, how much bronze wiring? Oh, hi. Apparently over 1,500. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not really sweating that, yeah? Ooh, the opportunity to ban a bot. Future is now. Purge. Be gone. All right. Ba, ba, ba. So my favorite weird mod. That's what was asked. Weird mod. Weird mod would mean like somehow suboptimal, but you know, in a way that you wouldn't expect it to be great. I would say that my collection has a lot of speed mods featuring crazy stats. I didn't even mean to look at Leia here, but look at this, an 8% health secondary on that diamond. That's pretty great. I was thinking about a couple of the offense secondaries that I've gotten over the years, like this one on Brutus, but I was really thinking about this one on the speed set. I used to run this on Padawan Obi-Wan before I had him in an offense set. It's one of my favorite mods. That thing's a real kicker, man. That's though. I guess one of the very best ones would be this square on Malik, because it's a 29 and it enables a really cool thing. Let me show you. So Malgus is all right, here's how this works. Malik is 352. DR is 351. And take my word for it, but with all of the relevant bonuses applied, Malgus in GAC is 350. So it goes Malik, Revan, Malgus, and so Malik will dispel an enemy taunt and put up his own taunt. Revan will fear, targeting the leader if available, and then Malgus gets to duck. And the reason I appreciate that 29 speed mod is that mod being as fast as it is what allows me to have Malgus being the slowest character at effectively 350 in Grand Arena. That's a pretty crazy mark. All right. Fair change. Yeah, you wish you had that much. Yeah, I mean, if you're new to the channel, you haven't seen my account, I'm definitely high end, over 16.5 million. If you're not regularly seeing me on my Grand Arena streams, yeah, for most of the last couple of years, you could catch me in the top 20, top 50 to top 20. I'd say the last 6 months or better, I've been holding on to a spot in the top bracket of the game. It's made easier because there are some number of Erodium players that end up in here because of that bug that's been around for the better part of 2 years now. But nevertheless, that is where I'm at. So, big account, fighting at the top. All right, Black Lion says, from plotting and scheming and the raid Datacron, all health percent. So my Ray Datacron, I think you probably heard us talk about 2 good crons for the Ray team. You're going to have the one that's... So I have one that is light side buffs level 3, long text Stufu level 6, super high health. Just like you say, with the Ray level 9. Ideally, I'm also trying to set up a... this level 6 is okay. I don't know if this level 6 or the long text Tufu is better for the situation when I'm running the Ben Solo level 9. which I guess Ray is going to be more of a pain in the ass in 5 versus 5 than 3. So if you had to pick one, go for the Ray, like what I showed with high health, like what you're asking. But having a Ben solo level 9 with high offense on the Cron, you can see that I've got some re-rolling work to do here. But high offense, maybe this level 6, otherwise the long text Dufu level 6. Good secondary option. Arctic Gaming says, what's the best set for Great Mothers? I've heard conflicting things for protection versus health primaries from different people. It seems most people have health, but I built out a protection set. This is a great question. All right. So when the Great Mothers were new, I know that I biased them for health. However, over time, I have to remember that over time, I have come to appreciate protection instead on her. So you're right that in the end you end up winning with protection. I think that's the better profile for her. Does it matter for most of the fights that you're doing? I don't think so. I really don't. I think we're sweating details. I've been effective in health primary. I've been effective in protection primary. But on balance, if you had to ask me, I would say protection. What's important is, what are your Great Mothers used by you? Where I'm at in the game, it is a reasonably common counter these days to have Great Mothers able to take on Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano with or without Exile Ezra in there if your Great Mothers and your Morgan are fast enough. So if you're at a part of the game where that's kind of a realistic scenario for you, then you may want to consider, very high speed and however you have to do it, whether that's with health or protection or mixing them. I would hit the speed mark I'm trying to go for and sweat the primaries down the road. Yeah, to Akuma, you're also on the protection train. I do think it is the better way to go. But again, effectiveness, I think, is about who goes ahead of who with this team. Yeah, Arctic. I just got them up, so I'm still figuring them out. I could use them against GLAT, so I can save my Bane for Queen. I could see that. Sure. Yeah, if you want this available as an option, what you're looking for is Great Mothers get plus 30 speed, right? From the leadership. So what you are looking for is Great Mothers ideal. You're wanting her faster than Morgan, and Morgan also faster than Exile Ezra. That's what you're wanting. And so, under Great Mother's leadership, we're talking about her being 385 and Great Mother's at 386. That means for any, under Galactic Legend Ahsoka's leadership, there's no speed on her lead, I believe. And so Exile Ezra's natural speed is the speed you have to deal with. So that would mean that for any Exile Ezra 384 or slower, I'm going to be able to outrun. And that's a pretty high mark. But here at the relative, top end of the game, that's what you got to do. What it is. Again, though, protection is optimal, but if I had to choose, I would mix the primaries if it made me hit the speed mark that I had to hit. I've said this a couple times over the last couple of days, but it bears repeating. If you're wondering, that's easy for you to say, Tassenix. How fast is fast enough for my Great Mothers and my Morgan? Fair. So you can come over here, check the leaderboards, check where you are, hit my ranking, and take a look at the 8 players above you and the 8 players below you. And that is a fair representation of what your potential pool is for starting out the first week of the new season of Grand Arena. And if your Great Mothers and Morgan are faster than the fastest Exile Ezra that you're intending to deal with, you're golden. That's it. Arctic only at 321 Great Mothers and 278 Morgan right now. Still got some work to do. Yeah, and it is a pretty decent bit of speed that you have to commit to those two characters to hit the marks that I'm showing. It's not easily done, so don't feel bad if you can't immediately do it. But also, again, it's really about the people you're fighting. If you're not fighting folks with really fast Exile Ezras, you don't have to sweat it in any type of urgent sense. Yeah. Wait, oh, I still need, that's, felt like I was forgetting something. Still got a raid. Akuma, my Great Mothers is 293. You got my leftover mods while I'm farming offense sets. That team is going to be super effective in Grand Arena for any number of applications. The only reason we're talking about this one in particular is that it is one of the highest aspirations of the Great Mothers team to be able to take on the top spec of the Galactic Legend Ahsoka team. It's very nice to be able to pull off. And if that's out of reach for you for now, then sure, come up with some other plan to deal with Galactic Legend Ahsoka and use your Great Mothers to just crush any number of other things. You certainly will not have wasted your effort, right? Next question, guys. Now let me ask you guys something. Do I seem like the right level of drunk to you? Because I could be more. We got a hype train going. I might open a second bottle of wine. We already had one bottle of Cabernet tonight. You guys know I love my wine, so don't disbelieve that I can put away a second bottle of wine in one night by myself and still be a reasonable human being in the morning, because I've done it before. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I had most of this I had this bottle probably closer to an hour and a half ago now. So yeah, fair enough. Hey, Swugga Gameplay, good to see you in the chat. Not much of a wine person. Amaretto, however, says Akuma. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I like all different kinds of alcohol. I really do. I guess what I would say is my palate has trended away from with age. Like, I used to love bourbon so much. I love bourbon still, but I loved it more when I was in my earlier 20s, and now I prefer rye. It's still got some sweetness to it, but it's nowhere near as sweet as bourbon. It's still giving me those flavors that I'm looking for. So yeah, with wine, I really like my dry reds. Not really into the sweet alcohol. There are exceptions. There are certain mixed drinks that you'll, make with some syrup or whatever that I will make exceptions for. Well, Knack Attack. You were on the verge of finishing a bad batch run. I think you deserve/need more alcohol. I mean, you could see that was the first attempt. It's not so bad. Actually had a pretty easy tonight raid-wise. Yeah. This is a pretty easy raid. I mean, again, for an account that has everything, it's easy for me to say, I guess. But compared to all the other raids, this one feels especially easy to get max score on. Gotta say. All right, let's dig into the reason. No more questions in the chat, folks. I think we're caught up with the log. Marok bad here? By no means. Especially if you have the Marok Omicron. But if you were here yesterday, I actually run the Balin team on Dark Side with Marok, with the Omicron, and I can get all the waves. So if you don't have a solid Balin team, but you do have Marok, and if you also have the TB Omicron, which for most players, in most circumstances, I would think that you have way better Omicrons to prioritize. But if we're talking just about this, yeah, and you can use that very effectively here with Inquisitors. I like it with Galen. Akuma says, I hope old Bad Batch get a nice focus Datacron at some point. I love the team. They just need a little bit of help. Yeah, they definitely need a lot of bit of help to... I mean, I see what you couldn't take really all. I take your point. It is more enjoyable than Naboo. It is quicker, Iroquois. Like, artistically, I think Naboo was more impressive. Like, that's the trade-off, right? I think this is by far the quickest going raid, Order 66. But it's also just kind of meh. It's really not that much to look at. It's not that great. I was very underwhelmed because... when you're doing that Naboo raid, and the first time you transition from the ground up to space in the ships, there is that moment. Like, that's like, that's cool. There's no kind of fucking moment. The Order 60. Nothing in the cut. What's my favorite quad May lineup for TW? Whatever my War Master tells me. I'm really more of a Grand Arena focused player, man. I don't sweat the TW. Whatever they say to do, I do. I want to say Cam is often in there, and probably a support. Probably something like Xeris, something like Shock. Yeah? Alright. Swugga Gameplay says, I'm getting close to top 100. I hope CG doesn't bring Relic Delta for the coming 5 versus 5 Grand Arena. I think they would have let us know if it was that imminent. You know? So I think you're probably safe for at least this very next season. Vale Reet. Oh, hey, what's going on, man? That's, am I going to be around in the AM? Yeah, JJ, I see you here in the chat on Discord. You're free to talk, but will I be around in the morning? I should be. I don't have plans relatively early, so yeah, we can talk. Why? What's up?
I just didn't want to have unnecessary background.
No, I appreciate the courtesy, but yeah, what do you want to work on tomorrow? Yeah, I'll do what I can. Yeah. The thing is that you might need to remod for some of your raid runs, and again, it's just one of the nice things about being where I'm at with my account. I don't remod for any of it. So we'll help you. I'll help you as best I can, but there's probably more work involved for you. Being on.
One run.
Oh, Dig that. Then we'll do the best we can for it.
Appreciate you.
Bugger Gameplay says, yeah, I don't think I get the top 100 once Relic Delta's in the game. I get you guys. I mean, if you're in kind of like a more mid-game position, bordering on late, and you're thinking that, or maybe you are later game, but not very high Relic, and you're worried about getting squeezed out by Relic Delta, I hear the concern, and that is a legitimate concern. It is by design kind of meant to ease you from the middle of the game toward the later part of the game, but we still haven't seen everything that is yet to come for resources and what they're going to do to help you bridge that gap. And really, the question is, not only what rewards will be on offer, but what's the rate? Functionally speaking, how many more Relic 7s and Relic 8s per month are you going to be able to produce from whatever added resources they give? All legitimate questions, but that said, I would urge you not to doom. Like, if you're thinking that your aspirations in Grand Arena are forever curtailed by Relic Delta, I don't think that's the case. I think the committed will find the way. What's the expression? Obstacles exist only to deter the uncommitted. That's how it is certainly in a game, and with quite a bit more complication in life. But anyway, Kuakuma says, I'm curious how Delta will affect me. I don't think it'll push me down. It may slow my rank advancement down, though. Yeah, surely there is some negative impact to be expected from folks that are going to be taking, Relic 5 to Relic 7 rosters against Relic 8 to Relic 9 rosters. There is some amount of pain there, but what the final pain looks like and how much it really matters compared to the resources that you will get to advance your priority characters and teams, yet to be seen. Yet to be. Hey, really appreciate that, JJ. Have a good night, man. Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. We'll take a look.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Look at gameplay. Yeah, I don't know what quote you're referring to at Arctic Gaming, but if it helps, good. Look at gameplay says, right now, I'm just hoarding signal data and relic mats. I'd invest everything when CG gives us more details. That, when folks ask me, do you think I should invest in X team or hold off until we know about Relic Delta? What I'm saying is, unless this team is in itself just a good idea for you to take up, like let's say it's just a Galactic Legend team, like you recently unlocked your Leia, your Ahsoka, whatever. I don't think you're going to get punished for putting more resources into that team. I don't. But if you're dubious, if you're at all wondering whether or not it's worth it to sink more relics into the team that you're using to punch up into a team that usually has a relic advantage over you, then yeah, I could see why you would wait. And again, you are right to be concerned. Concern is fine, but I'm really wanting you to. The obstacles quote. Yeah. I don't know who owns that one, but it's a good one. It's a good one, Arctic. Yeah, Badger 250. Appreciate you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Thank you kindly. All right, Farmstar says, the only thing that rubs me wrong about all this is if I remember right, they made a comment about decreasing relic costs. I wonder if they'll do some sort of make good for us endgame players that have invested all these materials not knowing it'll be changed. The costs being what they are and us paying those costs being what they were contribute to why the game is here. Now, I am not offended by discounts going to newer players that I can't benefit. I want different love than that, right? Like I want stuff like I saw the other day, those droid brain packs where you can select what you want from it, but you can get 20 droid brains for $20, and you buy that pack twice. For anybody that's an end game spender, that's a bargain for picking up a couple of Relic 9s, because the rest of the materials aside from droid brains are more readily attained than droid brains. So I can come by that by any other means. And anyway, like zoning back into your question here, do I think they'll make a make good? I don't know that I feel that they owe me, but I do want to be taken care of. I want to feel like, okay, you're going to add new vertical progression, you're going to add new events, you're going to add new stuff to do. So if I spend to have the Relic 10 or whatever it is that you need for this event, you're going to pay me back good shit, yeah? Like, I have expectations. I just don't need them to patch me up for stuff that I had long since spent on. I want something to apply to the new. Don't make good on the old. Offer me good on the new. Yeah? Farm Star, yeah, those slice bundles always make their way into my account. Yeah, man, they're I mean, successful price anchoring is successful, right? They got us pegged, got us thinking. It's like, yeah, man, it's a good value for you to drop $40 real pixels in a phone game. But here I am saying it is actually a real value here in our game. So yeah. Hey, so Tico, welcome, man. How's it going? You have a good birthday yesterday? Did you have a good Halloween tonight? Have any good stuff go down for you? Hear about it. Tuakuma says, my secret hope for Delta is being able to unlock gas without giving my droid Zetas. Just can't afford to waste them on instead of BKM or Ray. Yeah, I can understand that. We'll see what happens. See. Snack Attack. Where did CG mention they're going to reduce the cost of relics? They're going to reduce the cost of some of the materials that go into getting a relic. I want to say either, the salvage or signal data cost, or both. Something like that. I remember that being part of their announcement, that that's their intention, to reduce those costs. So, in effect, then reducing the cost of applying relics. I want to say that's in the original poster too. I don't like the splice packs that start with character shot. Yeah, exactly, Arctic. Most of these packs that are coming out with a bundle where you can pick your 3 rows or whatever, most of them don't apply to me. And again, that doesn't bother me. Like, it's good for the overall health of the game that players of all spending levels feel like there's some incentive for them to spend, because the longer that we're all spending, the longer this bullshit, phone game is still here. Like, as long as this thing remains profitable, certainly, profitable enough to afford the license to Disney and everything, they're just going to let it keep printing money. So I'm okay. I'm okay with a whole bunch of the things that they offer not being applicable to me. Ooh, so Tico, you ate too much cake, and unfortunately I'm not talking about ass. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that sugar sickness. Try to avoid that. Value is determined by the buyer, not the seller. Indeed, Farmstar. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm only buying the things I need, and most of the things I feel that I need are not what's on offer. This kind of pack where it's, you can pick up 40 droid brains. It's been a couple months since they offered it, right? So I'm trying to be on top of it. Arctic says, I wish the Lord of the Ring home was profitable, but best it failed. It was spending way too much. I'm assuming you're talking about the Lord of the Ring phone game. I didn't play that. Really, I'm not much of a mobile gamer. The only reason I'm into Swugga is because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and when I got into this game, it was when my daughter was a newborn, and I was kind of like, when my wife was just wiped out and needing a nap or whatever, and my daughter would get up and need to be fed, I would be stuck, like, with her cradled in one arm. She's got the bottle, she's cool, she's feeding, and I'm just kind of stuck there, right? I have a phone in one hand, but I've got like nothing to do. And so I ended up downloading this game called Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and the rest kind of just took its course from there. So I know somebody asked earlier, did I think that I was ever going to, trying to be one of the top PvP players in the world? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I got into this game as a collector. And then once I, understood that there's some real strategic depth, like there's a real game here. This isn't just some bullshit collection thing. Yeah, man. I jumped in. And I've been competitive in several other games, but this is definitely... I have been in very high ranks in some other games, but this is definitely the highest I've ever been in any game. Like, finishing a season at rank 1 in the world, in any game? Yeah, this is the only one, for sure. Do I remember what my first spend was on this game? I want to say that it would have been on the Sidious pack. Because when I first started the game, I had no focus on account building for strategic application and anything like that. I was a collector, man, and I'm a dark side fan. I like my Sith, so I was trying to pick up my Darth Vader. I saw, oh wow, there's a Darth Sidious pack in the shop. Well, I mean, how could Darth Sidious be bad? Like, arguably, he's right up there with Darth Vader. Darth Vader seems kind of cool. Surely Darth Sidious has to be great. Oh, I spend money. Oh, he's bad. So that was probably my first spend. Yeah. All right, where am I? Oh, right, we're doing Ireland. Okay, that's... Now it's 10:13. My water bottle's almost dry. I'm gonna go downstairs in a minute to fill up the water. But if we want to start a hype train, or I guess super chats are an option on YouTube. I'm usually not thinking about that because when I was starting streaming, I was only on Twitch, and it's only in the last year or so that I've been on YouTube. I always forget about that. But yeah, if we get some hype train and or super chat action, I'll crack open another bottle of wine and we'll make an evening of it. Otherwise, I don't mind sobering up and handling your questions in a less sloppy fashion. But if I can wake up tomorrow and tell the missus, no, really, it's not ridiculous that I drank 2 bottles of wine in one night because the stream bought me another bottle of wine. It's all a wash. It's fine, babe. Don't be mad. At least I'll have that on my side. Arctic says, and years later you get an awesome Datacron for a few months with him. Yeah, Sidious. Yeah, well, Sidious with the Datacron is way more impactful in the real game than had otherwise ever been. So I'm down. I am super fucking down with that. Arctic Gaming, appreciate the follow. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you. All right. Bugger Gameplay says, I installed this game when it was launched. Life got busy and I deleted it from my phone, came back after 2 years, but couldn't recover that old account and had to start from scratch. Now I'm over 13 million in Kyber 1. Nice, man. You've been hustling. Yeah, I'm definitely not a launch player. December of 2018. My daughter was born in October and I picked it up in December. So, yeah. Hey, you know what, Arctic? I appreciate that. Yeah, you don't use Twitch, but a follow. Listen, a follow on the channel, a like, a subscribe on YouTube, that type of thing. All the free ways of supporting the channel are the best ways of supporting the channel. Arctic Gaming, redeem to hydrate. All right, I got you, man. I got a sip here. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get there. The music though. I love the Pirate King team. I was looking away because you guys were asking questions, but I'm sure you probably saw SM33 give people the work. Good. Akuma says, similar for me. I think I started playing at some point in year one, then quit 4-ish years ago. Now came back in May on a new account. Welcome back, guys. I'm impressed that a game this old continues to attract new players that are also motivated to get towards the top end of the game. Pretty impressive. Sorry, just reading PMs. All right. Back with my eyes on you guys. And I think I will step away for just a couple minutes when I start the next battle here, just to fill up my water bottle at the very least. And then we'll continue. More TB, more questions, more chilling. Right here. Tassenix Gaming. Somebody earlier was asking about that Marok, right? I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay. You son of a bitch. I think I have to ultimate there. Tassenix Gaming should sponsor an esports team. Man, an esports team should sponsor. Oh my god. Probably not getting it. Rare for me. But this is insane. They're just crushing me. That's her first fucking turn all match. She might need to go back into the speed set. That's how it's. That is not gonna work for me. Hey, Wampa, appreciate you with the subscription. 6 months running here. Appreciate that. Does a half a subscription pay for a bottle of wine? You know, I'm not going to say I've got extraordinary high dollar taste in wine, guys. I'd say about a bottle of wine's about $20. About that, Mrs. T picked up the bottle of wine. So I think, even just a level 1 hype train or just, a couple random things dropped in. If we get to even just as much as $20, I can legitimately look the missus in the eye and say, no, wait, it's all coming out in the wash. It's I'm not a ridiculous human being for drinking 2 bottles of wine in one day because internet people gave me money. All right? You can't be mad, Mrs. T. And that's going to be my case. Farmstar says, so you're saying if I super chat $20, you can have another bottle? I'm saying, oh fuck. Well, we did die. I was correct about it. Diggity wrecked. Usually getting that fight. Damn shame. But yes, you are right. $20, we'll open up another bottle. I think so. I'm not obligating myself to finish the whole thing, but we'll make progress on that. I'll do my damn best. I enjoy wine. All right, Balin. We're gonna get ready to take a quick break. go ahead and... Yeah, Marok with the Marok Omicron. Please do not have it confused. I am not advocating for Marok and TB without the Omicron. With the Omicron, you will bear witness. You will require... Hey, appreciate it, Farmstar, with the $20 super chat. The title is Wine. So, we started this fight and immediately just absolute fucking destruction. It must be that the... TV wants to make me look bad in front of you guys. That's the only explanation I can come up with. I usually 2-2 these, but not today, Satan. Not today. Nevertheless, you see how powerful that Omicron is? Basically, if you can just call him to assist by any means, he'll do the damn thing. Here I am clearing the first wave, having 2 of my characters not doing anything. Please kill this guy. No, don't kill. No. None of that. Have it. Please don't kill me. Okay. Aw, boo. Aw, boo. Aw, boo. Aw, boo. Aw. Alright, we did it, chat. That's right. Alright, the price has been paid. I will be right back, guys. We'll put it on the be right back screen. Couple minutes, and I'll be back with a new bottle of wine. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much again, Farmstar. And yes, Depressed Wampa, Art to Gaming for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, everything that could go wrong went wrong there. Yeah, I actually have a pretty fast Balin. Like, he's like 350 plus. And yeah, you saw him take exactly 0 turns, so it be like that from time to time. Anyway, you're back. All right. We're coming back. Fresh bottle of wine, open. Journey begins. Yeah. Another bottle of Cabernet. All right. Yes, we're gonna switch to a slightly less. That's great and all. But the office is getting warm, and I do have this slightly cat hair covered Tassenix gaming hat. So, all right, next up. Is it 185? Ah, shit, they want to stop missions. Probably just shouldn't touch the phone. Oh, this is a neat auto. Jedi Master Mace. Man, Jedi Vanguard, just banger faction here. TV. Full auto. Alright, try this wine. What do we got here? 19 Crimes from southeastern Australia. Look at this label. Crazy ass look label. Straighten that up. What a weird looking label. But anyway, see what we're drinking. Alright. It's good. Good. It's good enough to drink. It's not good enough to order a case of. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of good. The good where you're not going to send it back, but you won't make a habit of it. How's that sound? Now don't forget, folks, the purpose of this stream is to take your questions. I'd have to do this shit anyway, so by all means, drop your questions in the chat. Folks do ask. Folks do send me DMs. Do I have to, tip you or just tip biddies or do a super chat to ask you a question? The answer is no. Any of that's completely extra. Very appreciated, not required. So ask away if you got questions. Don't feel obligated to spend money on it. Nevertheless, though, thank you guys. Bought me a replacement bottle of wine. And I'll look less ridiculous to the missus tomorrow. Thank you. I was expecting to come back with some questions. Yeah, but taking it easy on me. Reds fan, I actually beat the tier 3 of the new era battle with Relic 9 for long. I use max defense and protection mods in all slots with good speed secondaries. Very interesting, man. I did it with speed and tenacity sets, health primaries on triangle and circle, tenacity, cross, speed, arrow. And it took me a few attempts, but I also got the tier 3 done today. It takes some finesse. I do like how that event forced me to actually learn his kit, so kudos to CG there. Let's see what's going on with this. The 19 crimes turned convicts into colonists. Upon conviction, British rogues guilty of one of the 19 crimes, so apparently there were 19 qualifying crimes, and were thus sentenced to live in Australia over penalty of death. For those rough-hewn prisoners who survived the treacherous journey at sea, they forged a new country and life as pioneers in a new frontier. Today, 19 Crimes celebrates nonconformists and those rule breakers who challenge the status quo. Bring these heroes back to life by scanning the QR code above. So I guess there's something I could read more into, but alright, fair enough. Oh, I see. And they assign a convict to your label. I see. So this is playing on, Australians or convicts, I guess. But if you're the Australian selling it, that's fine. Make money on that. That's fair. Anyway, it says registration number 7298. Michael Harrington, a British conscript turned convict. Michael Harrington orchestrated an audacious escape from an Australian penal colony, braving a massive typhoon in a tiny rowboat to successfully board an American whaling ship to freedom. Wow, I was not expecting all that with my bottle of cab. Fair enough. But I've already got invested. But yeah, kudos on you for getting that last stage of the event, because it did take some attempts to do. The third stage, not the last stage. Yeah, anything beyond stage 3 is pure fiction. Getting one shot in the first wave, not gonna work. Yeah. Rated Relentless. We love a good penile colony. What did you dress up as for Halloween? Hey, Empire Lifts back with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Really, thank you. I came here for Swugga News, and instead, I'm getting convict wine stories. Love it. Keep it up. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, no questions or anything. Worst Scoundrel followed the channel. Appreciate you. Thank you. On Twitch and YouTube. Thank you kindly. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Worst Scoundrel. Welcome. Welcome. Good to have you. You guys are making my evening, really. I was courting the Stormtrooper in his Stormtrooper shirt. All right, man. Queen. Doing Queen here without Xeris is key. I've done it a couple times with Shock T because I love the Dispel on basic and the offense up. I'm greedy, but yeah, losing Padawan Obi-Wan feels bad, man. We will take Cam though. No questions come to mind, just an appreciation post. Love having your stream. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, guys. I don't usually stream daily, but there's been quite a bit of interest in just having these chill streams. So, if you guys want them, I'm happy to have them, really. Rated Relentless says, is there a cheat code to getting through the Conquest bosses without having to read an old raid mechanic? I think for just about everything but the tier 5, the answer is yes. Like, I feel like you can more or less fart your way through it. The answer. Gotta be careful here. Alright. Get her, eh? Like, I have a Relic 3 Savage. He's no good. If you're playing hard, I'm obviously only playing hard Conquest. Playing hard with a Relic 3 Savage, I do think that's a pretty tall order, man. I feel like I feel like Relic 7 probably the floor for that on hard. If you're not on hard, I'm not sure. But yeah, maybe it depends. Like maybe there's some text that you could use or some boosters or whatever to maybe make that work. But Relic 3 does feel kind of low. Yeah. I might have to answer your again because I see we just started. Try not to cut you off. Loving Xeris here, man. There are some of these waves where I will end up just having Padawan blown up. I don't think I have to worry about that. Was enough. Yeah, I better have a bunch of water later this evening. All this sulfite-containing wine is gonna just give me a wicked, probably just a headache. I don't have enough water. Got multivitamins, got water. I should be all right. Nevertheless, this wine is, compared to the last bottle, it's definitely, but it's, you know, it's easily drunk. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't really have a lot of strong flavor to it. All right, rated. Before we went to that ad set, you asked, is there a cheat code to getting through the Conquest bosses without having to relearn old raid mechanics? Like, I have a Relic 3 Sauvage, no good. I think through everything except the Sector 5 boss, you can kind of just wander your way through. This is assuming reasonably high relics, though. Like, in particular, that Sauvage fight that you're talking about, that's, I think, Sector 3. My Relic 9 Sauvage was getting knocked out before I kind of figured out what I needed to do. You might not need to be that high, but my guess is you probably are not going to do well. If you're playing hard Conquest, you're probably not going to do well with less than a Relic 7 Sauvage, if I had to guess. And I really couldn't give you any advice about how to do it at less relics. I don't play an alt type. I only have this one. I wouldn't want to steer you wrong. Oh shit, Worst Scoundrel in the chat says, I did it with Relic 5 Sauvage. All right, here I am, you know, front and center to eat my words. My gut feeling was probably not likely under Relic 7, and Worst Scoundrel saying it's some with Relic 5. So if you're really struggling at Relic 3, is it all that, you know, all that much to ask to push him up? The extra couple Relic levels? Thanks for the note there, Worth. You had one blue, one green fortified disc, one blue entrenched, and a weak spot. Yeah, those seem like reasonably available cards, so with kind of an average set of cards, that could be doable. All right. Rated says, I just foolishly bought the Conquest Pass Plus and still don't think I'll red crate. Oh man, I really hope that's not the case. You know, one of my patrons, a Lost Swamp Rat, put together some great infographics for you know, for this conquest about how to, you know, max out the feats and stuff. There are, any number of other content creators that are offering good information on Conquest. I imagine Bit Dynasty still has great guides for this set of Conquest. For anything PvE related, that I've ever been stuck on, if that's like a galactic challenge, if it's a conquest feat, whatever it is, Bit Dynasty will save us all. He's always been there for us. And yeah, if you haven't checked out whatever guide he has, because at the size of my account, I can kind of mostly just muddy my way through. I don't check his stuff unless I'm stuck, right? But as a rule, if you're kind of scrapping your way through hard conquest, if it's actually somewhat of a challenge for you, check out Bit Dynasty's videos, because he will make your life a lot easier. Trust me. Okay, yeah, you see this in the chat here, Rated? Worst Scoundrel is saying you need to kill the tank first. You can actually target those couple of droids standing on the tank in the back. Yeah, and so once you do that and the tank is down, kill the large B2 droid in the middle, and then kill the side guys, the small V1. So there's your tactic. Grant Almighty in the chat says, don't forget consumables, deployable cooling systems, max protection, offense on that Savage battle. Drop all 3 techs on there. Yeah, if it ends up being really that much of a bitter of a struggle and you can't go above Relic 3, that might be the thing to do. Okay. Yeah, nice, Rated. Nice. Yeah, appreciate you guys sharing that knowledge. Shut up. All right. Today Friday or Saturday? Today's Friday. Oh my god, this is so good. I have a full weekend. All right, Cassian. Something like that. Oh god. Stop. Wait. We got him, lads. Oh shit, I think I would need the relic knife. Now, how do I do the Kylo Ren one? He's Relic 7. I feel like that one's easier. I kind of mashed buttons on that. Mine's like Relic 8, which is not really that much different than Relic 7. What are we doing? Okay. His stun ability over and over, his dots should refresh that ability. Yeah, I mean, I think I did counterattacks enough where it made sense for me to just use a single target to finish off a character. Then I might have used the middle once. Then I remember mashing third a couple of times. Like, it wasn't that hard, to be honest. I want to overstate it. I don't know. I also use Doc T. Then all Tabi, hey man. After our last chat, I tried to remod my Night Sisters. Found out that I don't have the right mods for that. I would have never imagined that it would be so hard to get those. Been farming like crazy. Yeah, man. The grade of tenacity mods that you want for that particular encounter is unlike anything else in the game. So I'm not really surprised to hear that you didn't actually have that that set without intentionally going after it. I know I had to go after it to get up to the 270 mark. I want to say I was able to get around 240 relatively easy, but hitting that 270 tenacity mark, like I think I'm 269 point something, so whatever. 260, 270% tenacity, relic 9, protection primaries aside from the cross, a ton of prop besides. Yeah, man. That is the ticket, but it is a tall order. Hey, good job, Rated. He said, well, that's embarrassing. Just did it. You got the Kylo fight done. Good job. Shout out to Grantal for reminding us about the stun ability being able to be reset. All right. First glass of wine down. Bottle. Last two. The Vengeance. Now you guys had me pop this bottle, so I expect there to be some good questions here. Ah, shit, this is good. Being clearly right dispel her because yeah, exactly. Because on the off chance that she had the smite available, that is the best single thing I could do. Holy shit. Don't you... So yeah, you kill the leader, that makes the fight horrible, and then you might lose the fight anyway. Because fuck you, that's why. Which, fair. Oh my god. I was kidding, it's not fair. Stop. Big Yeti, hey man, what's going on? Listen, I am a fickle thing, and I forgot that you and I were meant to get together so I could pick your brain about offering some merch that people probably even care about. Because I have a merch shop offered through YouTube, but yeah, there's not really much that's drawing attention there. So yeah, I gotta get with you because I know you've got something good of your own going, and you've good advice. What's good with you, man? What's up? Oh my god, we're gonna make it. This stormtrooper kicks the shit out of JMK. Yeah, I tried to talk you through it. Yeah, I am. You want to know what the real answer is? And this is because the wine is flowing through me. You know what the real answer is? I'm gonna be pickier about how I want to actually do things than I think you're gonna be patient for. And my desire to not inconvenience you with that is such that I would rather not start at all than make it be a pain in your ass. Because when it comes to doing things the way I like to do them on a personal level, like setting up my stream, all these little details, something like a merch shop, I'm a pain in the ass. Like I like it just so. So I not just eager to foist that on you because I'm not gonna be able to be anything less than preferential. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm sure you have a smart idea in mind, and it's probably something I'm overthinking. I believe you. Overthinking is my cup of tea, apparently. I use this network because they have a huge catalog of base offerings. Yeah, that is nice. Vin says, protection arrow on a tenacity set. I had exactly one of in my inventory, and that is fixed on Kersantin. I think I have something similar. So yes, there is some competition. I actually remember doing some push-pull between my Kersantin and my Marin mod. So right there with you. I get that. How are we gonna do this? Go like this. Basic over here, dispel. Get off the side. Good. Okay. Oberon, did you go trick-or-treating with the kiddo earlier? Yeah, I did briefly around here in my neighborhood, but that was really early in the afternoon because that was still, before dusk, before it was even starting to get dark. And my wife and my daughter went over to my wife's mom's house earlier today during my work day, and they did a trunk or treat, and she got a big haul over there. So not to worry. You do not have to worry about Miss Lizzie. Miss Lizzie got a big haul out of today. You need not weep for Lizzie. Yeah, she had a good day, Oberon. How about you and yours? What'd you guys do for Halloween? Oh, no Ez, no GLAT. What? Let's see here. Ba, ba, ba. Press Wampa. Damn, I really like that hat style. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty standard hat. This is actually the hat that's available through my gift shop. I'll be honest with you guys. The reason why I want to get with Yeti to look at a different site to offer merch through, you can see that it's a okay hat, but I feel like I can have better offerings on not just hats, but other things through different site. Like not only just the offerings from spring are okay, but they could be better. But what really is disappointing me is fulfillment time. Like for example, you guys know my co-host from Plotting and Scheming. As soon as I had, and thanks to your support, I had a YouTube partner. I set up that shop, and I wanted to order samples of whatever single merch item any of my co-hosts from the show wanted. And so I got their preferences, I placed the orders, and I did that in April. To date, only myself and Dagger have actually received stuff. There are 5 of us on the show. It's some bullshit. So, not impressed. Spring, if you're watching, YouTube, if you're listening, Spring needs to get their shit together. I expect better. The people expect better. Anyway, Corey Spooner says, Tass, is it okay to ask what you do for work? I am an engineer working in the automotive industry in the greater Metro Detroit area. I think that answers you. Yeah. Okay, so we lost, so we lost the, yeah. My way. Alright, so we have the thing. Good boy. Alright, so you will be... Gotta hurry up. Yeah, bad man. Oh no, it has to be above. Alright, there we go. Ray Rock, I'm just eating dinner and watching the World Series tonight besides tuning in. Yeah, I'm assuming Dagger's chilling with the family and whatnot. He's popped in from time to time. But he's the one you'd want to talk to about baseball. Baseball is something where, man, I had better pre-gamed because nothing short of being 3 sheets to the wind by the time I sit down in the stadium seat, that's what it would take for baseball to feel entertaining to me. I would have to be borderline a problem. Like willing to fight people in public, pulling my shirt over the head, like people of Walmart type of drunk. I think that's what it would be. All right. Vin Altabi, do you like comedy, like stand-up? And if so, who's your favorite? I'm not an avid fan. Like I'm not trying to stay on top of new acts. I'm not trying to follow who's hot. I I imagine anybody who is a modern, any type of spiritual successor to George Carlin would be probably my favorite type. Because when I want, like, I think all stand-up comics are trying to draw on something from the present, right? That's what fuels the comedy, is something from the present in their personal life. It's something present in terms of the current social or political climate. It's something from present engaging the audience, but they draw from the present. And so I like George Carlin because he made me laugh about the absurdity, about everything that you're supposed to feel comfortable and good about as the firmaments of your social structure. Yeah, man. I that shit makes me laugh. It's so if you know somebody that's got the kind of spirit there of Carlin, that'd probably be somebody I'd be about. All right, let's see here. Ray Rock says, one of my college friends works at GM while several work at Bosch. I know so many people at both. Um, yeah, I don't, my company is an automotive supplier. My company sells parts to all of the world's leading automotive manufacturers. The parts that my company sells for the customer that I am working for is General Motors. Yeah. Exactly, Saldag. So you mean to tell me that an automotive engineer lives in Detroit? I'm shocked. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm giving too much away. Fair. Not a lot funny about the present. That's what makes comedians like Carlin actually make you howl, man. Because you know the shit's not funny, and that's part of why his absurdity and his just throwing it right there in your face is makes you laugh. It's like, yeah, I know. Boy, he would have a field day. Sure. Big Yeti. All right, Task. Gonna get going. Have a good rest of the stream. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, we gotta get moving. Mission, don't we? Jeez. Look at all that flurry of attacks. Been a while since we had like a real question about. Well, talking about comedy and stuff and everything is cool. Not to say that's unwelcome, but yeah, no soccer questions in a minute. Everybody's cool. Everybody's sated. I find that unlikely. By the way, thanks to all of you that enjoyed the last couple of mod guide videos I put out. The Treya faction. Really an inordinate amount of comments and feedback, so you guys really missed the mod guide series. I appreciate that. I really do. I am gonna kick off a new faction here. I'm really thinking that I want to do a galactic guys. I haven't done mod guides for a galactic legend. We've done a whole bunch of things. Not bad though. So Yeah, I'm feeling it. Probably if I had it exactly the way I'd want it, probably Lord Vader. We talk about the clones. We talk about we talk about the original team with Maul, because I already have a mod guide about Maul. So if you're not actually having the dark side clones yet, you would still be able to put it all together, all the pieces. That might be the fun one. Do I have any cheeses for Pirates and Conquest? All my pirates are Relic 9, so is it really fair to call anything that they're doing a cheese? Realistically. Appreciate you, Probe Droid. Dick. Nashorn, hey, good to see you, man. Anything you want to see for the anniversary? Lightspeed bundles. I mean, Lightspeed bundles are not intended, and I'm okay with it. Lightspeed bundles are for players that are way earlier in the journey, and it's meant for them to catch up so that one day maybe we fight. That'd be cool. But short of that, no, I'm not really worried about it. Like Lightspeed bundle wise, as far as what I want to see for the anniversary. Just, gosh, I don't know what I would want. Like, I'm tempted to say more droid brains, but to be honest, the tap on droid brains has opened. Both paid, being able to buy packs like the one I mentioned earlier, and just being able to get them through air battles and stuff. Like, you're less dependent on TW wins than you ever have been. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting everything I want. It's tough for me to feel like I should complain or want something else. Maybe just more access to mods. I still wish that I could farm up more mods than I want to spend crystals towards. That answer what you're going for? The wine is hitting now. Feeling it. Rock Gunner, I made it to a Rhodium for the season at 4.8 million, ready to get smoked. I have no idea what the future looks like for you, but you know what? I wish you the best of luck, man. Really. If you just recently advanced up there, congratulations, you earned it. Oh man, I'm gonna have to stall this for 10 years. Get that next resurrect on beat. The probe droid just immediately exploding. Fulcrum. More shit. And I don't approve. Alright, Oberon says, my low relic pirates are doing okay on Sector 5, full team. Big is only relic 3, and they're killing things. Tano relic 4, me relic 7. Nice. Good job, man. Rock Gunner says, I have Leia for this season, so I think I'll just set her and pray. If that's always a temptation. That is always a temptation. I see it. I really want it. Oh. Perfect. Bye. All right. Ray Rock says, speaking of mod guides, is it outrageous that I mod Quiggled with crit damage triangle instead of protection, since he does so much AoE damage with Ma's lead? I mean, he's doing so much damage. Well, first of all, I have experience in 3 vs 3 of running him with Pirate King Hondo under the long text level 6 pirate cron, set 24. I don't think you're doing that in 5 vs 5. I think Quiggled is rightly going with Maz. Are you running that with the Kixcron though? My suspicion is that with the set 24 cron, at the end of this 5 vs 5, the Kixcron expires. Still have set 24 for a while. The long text level 6 makes Quiggled extremely dangerous damage-wise. So if you're using that cron and for the lifetime of set 24, maybe crit damage, but I'll be honest, I feel like the damage takes care of itself. It is no trivial feat for like a Pirate King Hondo and a Quiggled just basically solo a slacker in 4 hits. Shit like that. But that's what's happening against Quiggles that don't have crit damage. But could you lean into this kind of current meta thing with the Datacron a little more with the crit damage triangle? Maybe, but on balance, I don't think it's probably worth trading off the survivability. Baldag says, just remember, Rock Boulder, every single person that plays this game is actually super dog shit at it, and is probably just as clueless as you are. You should do just fine in Erodium. Man, is that the truth? There are so many people that are just going in blind with some random fucking ideas, so you're right about that. Nashorn says, so you would say the endgame is pretty good as it is? Assuming that, is there something you wish they celebrate in particular or any meaningful game changes, like better graphics or reworked modes? Oh, I see. All right. We're differentiating between what I think I could likely get and between what I would have in, magical fantasy land. With unicorns, like shitting rainbows and stuff of the kind. In this type of reality, I would say better graphics. Like, I think that should be, from even out in Fantasyland, I'm trying to be practical. Like, I would imagine they would make a Swugga 2, and ideally in Swugga 2, they would roll over what you've earned in Swugga 1. Yes, does that mean that they sell a lot less? Yeah, that's probably unrealistic. But they could always add new stuff, and maybe that's not the business case to rework the graphics, like make a completely new modern game. They've already updated the art in a couple different ways, actually. So I think that's indicative of you're going to get what you're going to get, yeah? Like, the game's going to look decent, it's looking better than it's ever looked, and that's probably all the more you're going to get with that. So graphics, I don't really feel is going to come, but I mean, would I be open to that in a brand new game? Something for sure. Reworked modes, that is realistic to talk about. We can talk about how, I mean, earlier in the stream for TW fans, TW needs help. TW needs help. The rewards are less compelling than ever for the efforts required because of era battles, giving out droid brains. Now they just added this Galactic Legend Ahsoka event, which potentially can give out droid brains. So why are you busting humping TW? Why are your TW officers busting ass chasing people across time zones to get fights done? I don't have a great answer for that. So TW needs help. And I'm not even a TW fan. I'm really a Grand Arena player. But I acknowledge TW probably needs more. help than Grand Arena, because I still have a lot of fun in Grand Arena. I think that there's way more work than fun going on in TW. That being said, Grand Arena could benefit from. I think zone expansion is a kick the can solution. The game has grown. The number of teams that we have at the top end of the game are such that the board is too small in 5 vs 5 and in 3 vs 3. So, at the very least, in the short term, expand the board. Maybe have some rotating themes thing going on. Maybe think long term about replacing Grand Arena with a successor mode that has something else going on, accounting for just how large our rosters are and how many teams that we can actually put into service. Yeah. All right, Rock Gunner says, yeah, from Sanjita's F2P, if it's free to play, it seems like even in Erodium, people aren't great at killing Leia, even when they totally have the resources. Okay, so yeah, that might be a real edge for you there, man. It looked like Cal didn't take any damage that fight. Yeah, he's first of all, I don't think he got a lot of focus. And second, let me show you something. I got this guy pretty solid. 115,000 health, 73,000 protection, 181 speed, and 78.7% armor. Right? Like, if these secondaries were really screaming, I'd have him about 80. But, yeah, they're not that good. They're pretty good. They're not that good. They're real good. Certainly better than what's needed for TV. All Light says exactly that. You are where you are for a reason. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah. Fair. Grand Tall Mighty says, thoughts on a new game mode? I've been wanting to see pod racers come to the game to collect, but no idea how they could make a game mode out of it. We've talked here before. I've talked before about I want to see vehicle combat, and I think that you could have the same skeleton. Tell me you can't envision. Follow along with me. Tell me you can't envision the same skeleton being changed out with different skins, whether you're on a sand tile set or a snow tile set. We can have the Great Bunta race with, pod racing, just as you suggest, on Tatooine. Rotate that same kind of point of view where you're actually like almost in a first person or maybe even third person on the pod racers. Now we're at the Battle of Hoth. Now you're piloting snow speed in the same type of point of view. Now instead of going through whatever and dodging obstacles thrown at you from Sebulba and the pod racer, now you're dodging laser shots from a fucking AT-AT, right? Like from a because when I talk about what I want to see from the game, when I talk about things that I don't want to see, I'm thinking about from a game design perspective. I'm thinking about what is like feasible. I'm thinking about what is the right amount of effort for them to invest to create something from scratch in such a mature game where really like it's so many other games are long past the point for a game of this age to be just about like milking whales and forgetting everything and anyone else, little new content, what have you. I think the future for Swugga is bright. So I do want to see a new mode like vehicles. I think there's no reason why, like especially since I feel like there's carryover work that they can take from raids to apply to such a new mode. And it's something, as you point out, something new for us to collect. We work on these vehicles. People have been clamoring, not me, to be clear, but other people have been clamoring for stuff like ship mods for years this might scratch that itch, giving you something to modify, like actual vehicle modifications. I think that would be best introduced, like ship mods. I think I'd rather see mods of that type come in on vehicles as a completely new system within a new system. Introducing like ship mods into fleet is just going to continue to fork the population, right? Like those who can afford to go in deep on fleet mods, whatever that means, whatever that looks like resource wise, you're going to just necessarily outclass the fleets that don't have it. And a boo boo, you're poor. You know, you didn't have everything to max out every ship on your fleet with the new latest and greatest ship mods, whatever that looks like. Like, too bad. You get to eat shit on fleet now forever. I don't like that. I'd rather have this be like a new system introduced with a new system like vehicles, and then it feels like we're all starting off on a level playing field. Yeah? Let's see here. Pitching back. Oberon, are you a day one player? Tass, no, we've already talked about that a couple times, likely before you joined us here this evening. But no, I joined December of 2018. My daughter was born in October that year. And yeah, you know, I remember distinctly my wife being passed out with exhaustion from God knows. She's been through enough at that point in the day. My daughter was sleeping, then she woke up, and now she wants to eat. So I'm sitting there on the couch, got her set up with a bottle, and I've got one hand cradling my daughter, one hand free with the phone. So I decided to install Swugga, and here we are, these years later. All right, Irikoro says, I do wonder if they are ever going to expand more on the story of you being a player in the Cantina against the Hut character. I guess. I mean, that's so low on the priority list for me because what you're essentially talking about, like bringing somebody into the fantasy of the Hollow Tables, is more like a new player experience thing. And I feel like new player experience is probably all right. Folks who have done it will probably have some argument. Baldag says, if CG brings General Kalani to the game, they can milk me fucking dry. I mean, Kalani, it's really weird. It feels like a huge oversight that they haven't brought Kalani, considering how long that model's been in the game. So, yeah. I hear you, Baldag. That's done. What are you? Onion? Inzori? God damn it. Anyway. Who goes there? Hey, Carthrick. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. I've got a pretty good wine run going on, to be straight with you. But yeah. Oh my god. Well, hopefully all that's going well. Dig that, pal. Fair enough. Dig that. Okay, so they dig this. Yeah, man, it's all right. We're actually having a pretty good conversation here in the chat, just going about any number of things. But yeah, man, been good. I already drank a bottle of wine before I even started stream tonight. You know, very kind, generous folks in the chat. You know, tipped me such that it made sense to crack open another bottle of wine. So I'm working my second bottle of wine. Yeah, man on a
That
mission.
is intense.
I'm a dry reds type of guy. What kind of wine you going for? Oh wow, incredible. Do you mind saying what state you're in or whatever? Yeah, I'm out in Michigan. We actually have a surprising number of wineries here. Yes, go on, please. Familiar. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yes. Let me catch up with the chat here a second. Salday says, oh no, we caught that one. Nashorn Offcrack says, it kind of makes me sad to think about how much this game could be and could mean for Star Wars fans if PG really tried. The game could always be better, guys, but man, there's really never been anything like this. I've heard that this is the first Star Wars mobile game. I know there's others that come out since, so I know that Star Wars is diversifying its footprint even within the mobile game space. But this has got to be the most successful, and there's always room to improve. But this is why I'm so excited about stuff like the test program being back in the mix with content creators, because this is how they actually get a direct line into what players want to see. I think the future is brighter with an active test program. And yeah, I don't know. I'm generally upbeat about the future of this game. Like, I know I talked earlier in the stream about my concerns about private equity in terms of a Saudi private equity firm taking ownership of EA. But as I also said earlier, one of my patrons is Saudi and explained to me how, you know, the Saudi royal family controlling the Saudi Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, which owns the private equity company, which owns EA, their general investment philosophy is long term, which is against the trend of private equity in general. Private equity in general expects really solid, like incredible profitability, frankly, within 5 years of taking ownership, or they basically break you down for parts and recover their losses through that. And yeah, I worried, but aside from that, I think the future of the game is better than it is worse. Aldex says, honestly, Separatists need more love in general. They are the most neglected major faction in the entire game. It is a travesty that we do not have a ship for Trench, that we do not have a starfighter for Dooku. Where is Dooku's, like, solar sail starfighter? I have been robbed. I'm right there with you.
The only separate. Form of
Uh, okay, I can see it. Sure. New Dooku, I could live with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They've done. Would if they PLE, there's a lot more.
Hmm. Fair. Yeah, I would like to see more done with Separatists. Sure. But Nashorn says, yeah, it just doesn't make that much money. What? This game? This game makes a shit ton of money. Talk to me. Google, could do a quick Google search and tell me how many mobile games in whatever lifespan across any lifetime, short, long, whatever, that have grossed $2 billion. I will wait. It's not going to be a fucking long. All right. Vin says they had thought about ground vehicles at one point. I think back in 2019, that was never that idea. That idea was never developed further. I would love to have them in game. Yeah, I think it's a kind of an obvious area to expand on for Star Wars. You've got the ships, you've got the characters. Why not the vehicles? Seems like a natural fit.
Does it really?
Mm.
Ships are ability.
I imagine that the new vehicles. So you know how people been. This might have been just before you joined me here on Discord, but we're talking about like the idea of that next level of advancement, and I was saying that folks have been curious, maybe even demanding of ship mods for years, and I've always been hesitant, to be honest, not for my sake, but for everybody else. Like there's gonna eventually become a meta way to do whatever that new system is, that new tack on is, which is gonna further divide the player base, particularly at the top. I don't want that. But introducing an entirely new system like vehicles, now you can do instead of ship mods, do vehicle mods. Do whatever else that you're gonna carry over from ships, just as design structure and like gear advancement or whatever your idea was for vehicles, but then add in a new system there, and then maybe once it's matured a bit, think about rolling it in some form or fashion into fleets, with a better sense of the type of power you're fucking with, because fleets all over the place. Like, we are one GAC meta experienced in the idea that the floor of your Grand Arena offensive performance went from 70 to 75. If you're scoring under 75 these days in Fleet, tough, tough business. You know what I'm saying? That was not the case 2 months ago. Yeah?
No, but was separate. That's kind of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Think of this introduced vehicle. Great, you do that.
Oh shit!
But
You know what? You know what? Hold on. I owe you an apology. I realized I didn't have Discord set up to properly pick up your mic. So hold on. How about speak now?
Speak now, speak now, speak later, speak
Okay, you
before,
can you
speak
guys hear
after.
Karthik now, man? Thank you so much for thank you Nashorn for letting me know because man, you guys are listening to some bumpy fucking audio until then. The
Apologies.
occasional gasp of Karthik was joining us over Discord. So thank you, man.
Apologies. But yeah, no. If
Sorry,
if,
guys,
if they
my bad.
if they end up doing something with vehicles, they need to tie the vertical progression to itself directly, so they can better balance it. That's the problem they have with Fleet, though, is because Fleet is one of those things where it's like you can balance it if you assume all Relic 9 pilots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you immediately have Relic 5, Relic 7, Relic 6 in the mix, and it changes the turn order enough to get you a more optimal outcome, all of a sudden you're disincentivized to take everything to the max Relic potential, which is why I think they keep buffing the Leviathan, is to keep making it dominant in that respect as these things keep shifting. And so if they ever went down a route of doing vehicles, it would need to be completely separate. It would need to be pilotless vehicles. They would need to introduce their own gear progression or just straight up just give them a relic type progression but call it something different. Just whatever they want to do. That would be the way to do fleets, or not fleets, but ground vehicle combat in this particular game. But it's one of those things where I think they don't want to broach it until they've dealt with how fleet performs in this game, and I don't know if they have the bandwidth to properly deal with that for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, fair. Let me check the chat here. Yeah, saw that. Remind me to get Finn's Omicron the next time I have an Omicron 3. Hot damn. Yeah, man. I mean, if you're at a part of the game where you feel like you have spare Omicrons and you can think about TB Omicrons, TB is a pain in the ass. Most people are right, David, and I started enjoying it only when I started to be able to apply a couple of TB Omicrons, because just easing up a couple of fights really opens up your options. Right, you're not thinking about breaking down any teams just to try to go the distance for the sake of waves. And a couple TV Omicrons make a huge difference. So, yeah, Finn's a good one. In fact, the two characters that I spent my double relic, the double droid brains. I got my 20 droid brains times 2. I took Resistance Hero Finn and Zori to relic 9. I took OG Finn to Relic 9 long time ago. But now I have those 3 at Relic 9. So that's a solid core. And then it's just Resistance Hero Poe and Rogue remaining to go eventually to Relic 9. And then I have that whole team at Relic 9 for later waves of TB, just alleviating the demand on like the very top teams on my roster.
Well, that's always the issue with the later phases, is you have so many premier units at Relic 9 platoon requirements that having a couple of TB Omis that allow less valuable teams perform at, above and beyond tier levels, and that really helps most people's rosters kind of like spread out and be viable. Because it's like, if you lose either JMK or Cat in a platoon, which there are a lot of requirements for that in phase 5 and 6 planets, the team dies off. You can power condense to a degree, but like JMK without Cat in TB is not going to really perform on a meaningful level.
Yes.
And so being able to have a supplementary tune to push into that position really does help wave performance outside the rest of the game.
Completely agree.
But I am one of those people who have the luxury of wasting Omicron materials. So
yeah, it's not for most players. I think you guys are going to get a lot more mileage out of Grand Arena or TW Omicrons before you start thinking about TB. But at that point, and you'll kind of know when you get there, yeah, it's great quality of life. And it, again, for me having a really big roster, I like that the TB Omicrons make it not so much effort for me to have an outsized helpful impact to my guild, like without just an incredible amount of effort. Like that's the real saving grace here. Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it. I see all the way back up to Iroquoro. A few of you guys are letting me know about the sound issue with Carpet. We're squared away now. I appreciate that. Yeah, I see DRC SWG says, I'm from the past, watching the VOD. Regarding accuracy arrows, yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Does Crosshair need one? Interesting use of the word need. I think that it makes sense for him to have one in the same way that it makes sense for any of these characters that are using it to have one. Need is maybe a little strong. Like, maybe you need that for the Night Sister Spirit if you're trying to counteract the evasion from Exile Ezra. Maybe you need the accuracy arrow on your, what is it? Mara Jade to try and avoid Exile Ezra, again, from dodging your debuffs and stuff. As far as Crosshair goes, it makes sense for him to be in an accuracy arrow. He'll be able to more, because his stacking debuff that's there from the start of the fight is negative accuracy. So it makes sense. Having an accuracy arrow means that as you're reducing those stacks, you're effectively allowing him to do meaningful damage in the fight a couple stacks sooner, right? That's the idea. Like, you're unleashing him just that much sooner. And that is probably worth the effort. I haven't gone to that effort yet. I haven't needed to. So that's why I mentioned that. Like, for how I'm using the new Bad Batch, I haven't felt the call. Where it was like, man, it made a big difference to me that I had to wait another turn or two to eventually free him up from his shaken debuff and just have that full damage potential. I feel like I can wait that out most of the time. It's not really taxing me. All right.
Yeah, that's been the issue I find most frequently with that argument. Is it's like overall it's very unique situations to where you want to push that particular investment. And so when you're making that argument, it's like, okay, the argument is best served onto what do you plan to consistently counter with your new Bad Batch team. And if that team requires an accuracy arrow, then put it on there. But outside of that, it's like 9 times out of 10, it's not going to make a meaningful impact on your performance to not have it.
Sure. That's fair. Yeah, Vin. Yes, and you could solve with different pilots on ships. I think that think about seeing Executor with the same ships as it is now, but having different pilots and therefore other abilities, speeds. Yeah, I see. Swapping out who ends up being considered like the capital pilot of a ship. It's an interesting creative spin, but I'm not sure I'm into it. Because part of the thing that makes a resource investment game make sense is that you feel like you have a consistent value for the things that you choose to invest your resources into. So if I invest in my executor fleet, and because we changed the pilot, and because that pilot has, I don't know, less speed, or for whatever reason, it ends up actually having some type of functional disadvantage, that's whack. And now all we've done is create a new arms race to get to whatever the top meta choice is. And that's what I worry about progressive systems. I know they can be done well. What I'm saying is they have to be done cautiously, because, yeah, I think there's more ground to do it wrong than do it right. Oberon Quid says, I wish I could get my Rolo Omicron back, though. And then Vin says, Rolo Omicron's actually one of the best in TB. I love it. I have it, but I can't say I've made extensive use of the Rolo Omicron, so I want to believe that somebody's getting money off that. It's just not me.
I mean, it's one of those crons where if you end up platooning a lot of the key components out of a rebel out of Leia's OG squad, right? If you're stuck with giving up Drogon or Leia or R2D2 on a consistent basis, having her lead any rebels is a viable like pick me up. There are some teams where it's going to be more challenging to make them ride or die in an effective manner, but it is a nice supplement to use on any of your rebel teams, and I enjoy it. But I'm at the point now where I own every Omicron in the game, so it's hard. Me using them is more like, well, I have the opportunity to do it, so shit, I might as well, versus out of an actual need to do so. But it's still fun for me to use that particular Omicron when I have to end up platooning, Rolo, or not Rolo, but the GL Leia or Drogon or whatever else on a particular phase. It gives me additional options in the tool belt, essentially.
Fair.
Because 35% speed, especially in how TB works presently, is not a joke. It is a powerful mechanic.
Yes, completely agree. Let's see what. Oh, we've had a pretty long stream here going. Let's see here. Finn says, for example, Mandalore combat mission is a breeze with it. Okay, fair enough, yeah. Oberon says, have you done the quality of life conquest Omis? I've not applied one yet. Like the Padawan Obi-Wan. So here's the thing. That was among the last of the Omicrons I applied, because I was already a large account when Conquest was new. So I've never had to rely on a specifically Conquest Omicron. I want to say the first one was Sortie. Later on, Padawan Obi-Wan was added, and listen, I hear players large and small swear by that Padawan Obi-Wan Omicron. So it specializes in having you get all the buffs and apply all, a lot of the debuffs, if not all of them. And so that's going to be perennially useful. Like any conquest, there's going to be some feats in some sectors, if not like the main conquest feats overall, having something to do with buffs or debuffs. So you will get value out of that. If there was any Omicron or conquest that I would say is really worth consideration for any player, it would be Padawan Obi-Wan's. outside of that, I don't think any of them would be really worth it.
I mean, Swordies is kind of a joke. It was a thing back when those mechanics were, more prevalent to abuse the droids for
it was
for the
never
Swordies team.
better than when it was brand new. But even then, it was not like, oh man, thank God, now that I have this Omicron, I'll be able to finish a battle I couldn't finish before. Nobody ever said that about that Omicron.
No, not even close. No.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of the unfortunate part of where that one landed. And then was there one more outside of that? I think that those are
if
only
there
two
is,
conquests.
I'm not going to claim it. You know what I'm saying? No respect.
Yeah. And so it's it's like, well, because the Gungans have the Galactic Challenge Omicron. That's kind of a complete waste of everybody's time. And so there's a lot of things out there where they have their very niche applications to when they were viable, but the Padawan one is great if you just want to streamline a few things here and there as you go through the cycle of the game. But
yeah,
overall,
if you find that you are yourself struggling with those, get this many of this buff or do many of this many of this debuff, might be a worthy consideration. Again, all the players I know, all of them, 100% of them, large accounts, small accounts, that have taken it and have taken it with intention. Because by the time I added it, I definitely didn't need it or care about it or whatever. But for the players that did, large and small, it has been a godsend to them in Conquest. So I wouldn't fault you for putting it relatively high on your list for consideration. All right. Let me catch up with. Irokoro asks, with Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano having an economy event, is it worth prioritizing even though it is for a limited time? Well, first of all, I think they did indicate that it will be recurring. Second,
it's a recurring every month.
Yeah, so it'll be a monthly event. So I feel like it's just sweetening the pot for something that you already kind of wanted anyway. Is it added incentive to prioritize it in a way that you were not already prioritizing going after Galactic Legend Ahsoka? Probably not. The economy event, the best rewards are from the last stage. The last stage is refreshable for 1500. It is possible to get 5 droid brains, and if you did at the rate of 1500 crystals, that would be the same as the weekly shop, which is a-okay. But it is possible for the 1500 crystal refresh to get things that are less valuable than the droid brains. And so I think you would agree that the best resource events are the ones where it's a no-brainer. I should refresh this to make sure I get the most out of it. That's not this event. Whatever you get for showing up and it's there anyway and you're all there anyway and you've got whatever you're applied, you can clear however many stages, great. Take the money and run. I wouldn't put special effort into making sure that you can get the most out of this particular event when your 1500 crystal refresh could give you some funky fucking signal data instead of droid brains. What are we talking about?
Well, you get all of it, right? You get signal data, a droid brain, and then one of the either Electrium, impulse detectors, or arrow magnifiers, or the Zembitals, right? So you still get.
I'm not exactly sure about what the loot table is, but I want to say that there is an outcome where you can get 5 brains. And
there is. So the loot table.
I'm saying if
gives
it's
you
less than that, it's kind of whack for the refresh cost. You just showing up and doing it and you getting whatever, hey, it's all good. I'm talking about you actually choosing to make that click, though.
Oh, yeah, no. But the event does, on its own accord, give you signal data as one of the guaranteed rewards. You get one of the 3 drops. You get a second drop that is either impulse, arrows, Zimbitals or Electrium conductors. And then you get a third drop, which is either Droid Brains or Girder Keypads, or I think Omicrons. I don't know if they put that on the loot table. I have to go back and look at the data mine. But the short answer is, on that refresh, you're never gonna go negative. But you're gonna, if you wind up with like Electrium conductors and Girder keypads and the tier 1 seal data, you're gonna feel less value out of it for sure than if you got Droid Brains, arrows, or impulse sectors and like the tier 3 seal data. Like there are definitely going to be way more value out of that refresh button than not. But the fact that she has an economy event now is the best thing they could have done for her, because that's why nobody liked her. But from the overall arcing game perspective, Hondo and Jabba are still the better investments, because you can never overlook mod investment in this game. Yes. Like, does she give you a little bit of a reimbursement? Sure. Not Leia, but Ahsoka. But like, what Hondo and Jabba add to people's rosters in terms of ability to keep slicing mods and re-rolling them and everything else that goes with it, that will always be far more valuable than 5 Droid Brains once a month. Now, granted, luckily, it's only an R9 Ahsoka that is required for that tier. And if you're not R9ing Ahsoka out the rip, I don't know really what you're doing.
Fair.
So it's an event that's worth having to have. But would I prioritize Glat over Hondo? Not a snowball chance in hell. But that's, unfortunately, that's through the guise of looking at it as a perspective of having the ability to, the one's new and one's not, right?
Well, you're also,
in a year
I
from
feel
now,
like you're looking at it from the view of resource maximization as well, and this is a resource management game, and I don't think anybody should fault you for that.
Yeah, but that's all I'm getting at, is like, if this was not Hondo was released a month ago, the answer would be Hondo. But the only reason why it's not is because not everything's completely farmable yet. I don't even think the last marquee is farmable yet. I think, or did he just go to farmable? Sure. So like that one's a hard one to argue, given the present context. But overall, the mod rewards you get from Smuggler Runs 2 and what we will get from Smuggler's Run 3 are still a better return of resources than what we're getting out of Glad.
Fair. See it. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, Lady Geek, you got the Sortie Omicron. I picked it up, but I swear I don't think to date that I've ever used it. So good on you. Baldag says, just want to say, I hugely appreciate when CG adds a Conquest or Galactic Challenge Omicron, because I see that as an Omi I absolutely don't have to prioritize, which just makes catching up all that much easier. All right, I can see that. That's pragmatic.
I mean, that's how everyone feels about TB Omis too. I mean, it's like the Hu Yang and Quiggold and Vane Omicrons just could jump to mind at the top of what I've been using recently. Like, do they change the needle on a GL team winning? No, they do not. But the fact for me right now is like, what they do though? I can put that on any planet for the most part on full auto, walk away and wait for them to tell me that I've gotten my territory points.
True.
So it's like, as being in a position of I can, then yeah, it's fine. But if I was to recommend a TB Omni to anybody, you're looking at some of the stuff on Cal Kestis, you're looking at Finn, you're looking at Rolo, you're looking at very high value Omicrons. You're not looking at the ones that have been accompanying all the GLs of recently. You're not looking at Hu Yang. You're not looking at Gamorrean Guard. You're not looking at Paz Vizsla. You're not looking at Quiggold or Vane or any of these new, they're on a GL team. Usually, the only even with Apo, the only reason the Apo Ami holds any water is if you have to platoon Lord Vader and you're using Tarkin lead with the clones.
I see. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But most GLs don't have a supplemental leader already baked into the squad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance that maybe OG Hera, not OG, but the new Hera, General Syndulla, can lead Spectre well enough with the Hu Yang Omicron to work around it. But Galat's not required for any platoon requirements. So until she is, it's like, why do you care, right? And so that's the unfortunate part with most of the GL Omicrons that come with the teams. Is like, unless the team ends up being required for anything recent, new, what do you care? You're not going to ever not take them with a GL because they're not required anywhere. So I'm going to take Spectre without the Omicron and auto every mission anyways. Mm-hmm. Why would I slap it on there? So that's kind of the unfortunate balance where they are. Most of the teams that are coming out with TB Omnis now, they are supported by an all-star leader, and there's no need to be like, oh my god, I definitely needed that Omicron to make that win happen. This is no.
I got you. Solday here says, I just had my Master Qui-Gon get blitzed down turn 1 on Ring of Kafrene. I still won, but fuck me if it took 15 minutes on auto. Yeah, I know my share of narrow wins. Guru Mana in the chat says, does the Oppo really make Tarkin lead clones viable in TB? I do have to platoon Lord Vader, so I have my R9 clones failing their mission.
I mean, it does, but I wouldn't say it's something I would play on full auto. But I've been using it through R7 and R8 tiers without much issue. But R9, I have it. I just haven't been testing it because I haven't had the platoon Lord Vader in at that minute, so I don't worry about it.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm that level of I have them all, so I just don't give a shit. Press buttons and win, right?
Keep the questions coming, folks. Anything for me, anything for Carthrick while he's here. By the way, no new news on the Relic Delta front, right?
The only new news is that we have been told that testing is essentially over, and that they will release final numbers with their next big announcement, right? That's as far as we know. So we don't know. We don't know what final numbers are. We don't know if version 5 is where they're going to leave it. If they're going to tweak it from there.
Yeah.
We don't have a real picture beyond that.
But they feel that they have everything that they need to know from version 5. So it wouldn't be crazy to expect that version 5 is what we end up seeing.
It'll be close. My guess is that Relic Deltas 1 through 3 will come out as version 5 anticipated. Mm-hmm. Version 4 and 5, on the other hand, I think they could be tuned down a little bit more. Some of my final remarks to CG a couple weeks ago was basically Relic Delta 4 and 5 aren't stopping counters as well as you'd hope for Phoenix versus Reva, or Zori versus a handful of teams, Traya versus a few teams, where the Relic Delta doesn't really matter, right? It's all about that the team isn't doing enough damage, even with 100% bonus, to get past, Traya's stacking bonus protection, or the fact that Zori just needs her TM loop to go, and then she's going to crush whatever's in front of her, and so on and so forth. And so my argument was well, if that's the case, bring those numbers in a bit more, because you're not stopping those teams at 150%. What's going to matter if that number ends up being, 120% or 95% or somewhere in between?
Mm-hmm.
on those particular numbers. And so that's what I was kind of hoping for, is they bring the final version under 100% for Relic of the 5, because the reality is that any team with AoE damage, if they're getting a 150% multiplier, it's a very abusable mechanic.
Yeah.
And that was what we had talked about a couple weeks ago. Was
Right.
That's a problem that will be exploited the second those numbers become official. It's like, hey, if you want to win all your battles, take Malicos to Relic 9 or Relic 10, and he'll dunk on every Relic 8 or 7 GL team you ever come across for the next, year. Because he's just going to deal so much increased damage on a lot of these squads where he'll carry the rest of the team. And so that was the argument we got into. An argument is, that's a strong word for, discussion. But it was the point I was having with them. I was like, you're leaving a ginormous backdoor for players to exploit. It will be more prevalent in the mid game than it will the end game, because more mid game players are going to have that relic disparity of one or two very high relic characters carrying a lot of fights, versus end game, like where you and I are, where it's like most of our roster is relic not 8 or 9. One relic 10's not really going to be doing a heck of a lot of lifting in our area of our neck of the woods. And so that's where we kind of got into, hey, maybe bring these numbers in so it's less exploitable, because 95% increased incoming damage, if you've got AoEs, at an RD Relic of 5, like those teams aren't living anyways. Like,
okay,
Momo versus Gungans at 33% was like, if I get the RNG of an attacker getting the kill, I'm done, right? Like the fight goes drastically the other direction very quickly. But you go to RD5, which I think was oh god, what was that percentage at the time? Hold on,
I don't recall it. I remember you showing it.
It was 70%. So 70% at the time was, if you went to RD4 with Momo versus Gungans, if you take the AoE damage, you're done. The fight's over. Like you just watch the Gungans kill your team off until it's Momo and one other person, and then you retreat. And so it's like, it doesn't take a lot to stop certain counters. So it's like, why do the numbers need to be so extreme to where they can be exploited the other direction? So I'm hoping Relic Delta 4 and 5, I'm hoping 4 walks closer to like 55 to 60%, and then Relic Delta 5 walks closer to like 95 to maybe like 110, somewhere in there, on the percentage points. We'll see, but as far as we know right now, they've got the information they want. They'll give us final numbers upon release of the next big announcement that comes the game. My assumption it'll probably be around with the next update, because that is going to be right around the anniversary. Mm-hmm. I can't see them delaying this beyond the anniversary. I could see them potentially waiting until the current season of the next season of Fives is over, to fully implement Relic Delta, but I would see them announcing it before that, because that was their one thing where they were like, we want to disrupt PvP on a minimal level. We don't want to disrupt PvP, be like, hey, but that may not be they may not have that latitude. They might just push into the game and say, this is what we have to deal with, and we're going to just send it and see what happens. So we know they don't want to, but it may not be on the calendar to delay it that far. So we'll get it when it comes. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what happens in the long run here with it.
All right. I think I'm caught kind of in a loop here on this TV battle, guys, but it is getting kind of late here. It's almost 12:15 Eastern, so let's see about getting the last couple of questions in. Make sure you throw anything into the mix here that you got for me, you got for Carthrick, since he so kindly decided to drop on in. Good to have you, by the way. And
yeah, great to be here.
And then, maybe if I wipe out or whatever it is here in the next few minutes. on this fight. We'll look to close things down, raid you guys out. You know the drill. Last chance. Share what's on. Right. I was hoping that, like, profit cap being removed, stuff like that, was gonna amount to some damage if the squishies died. Usually, I'm successful in this fight using Ray, but I did use Ray earlier. Lady Geek says, if you could have any Star Wars character over for dinner, who would it be? What would you serve for dessert? Wow. So, Anakin Skywalker, just after he became Lord Vader, chocolate lava cake. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
I would probably look at the potential of having like either Galen Merrick or the Son, which I know is still played. Either are played by Sam Witwer, but like the characters just intrigue me so much because they're so outside the normal parameters of a Star Wars,
For sure.
normal issue. But the dessert I would probably choose like, man, my brain just wants to like cheesecake. I wouldn't do anything fancy, but like I think like a cheesecake with a nice little like fruit puree on top would be what I would go with.
Alright, nice. Depressed Wampa says, question. Quiggled has been a favorite of mine recently. Would you hunt for offense secondaries in his tank build, seeing how much he can do? I think if you're running him with the long text pirate level 6, I don't think it's necessary. I would double check the Kickscron and see that there isn't anything necessarily stacking his damage there, like there is on the pirate long text. If it is the case that there is no ramping offense from his Kickscron, from the Kickscron rather, maybe there's a case for adding more offense, you know? Otherwise, yeah, man, that level 6 is just doing it because Prophet stacks being consumed, ramping him by 5% offense per each. Crazy. That's right, the lava cake, RIP. Yeah, Lady Geek. Glad we got the fans appreciating it. Our favorite tumor with a minigun, legitimately, you're unironically quoting how I explained this to my wife, because she keeps hearing me say this weird word, quiggle. What is a quiggle? Why do you keep saying quiggle? Yes. And it's because I'm talking about this guy that looks kind of like what it would be if a potato grew legs and then the whole thing got cancer. Yeah.
That is an interesting way to go about it for sure.
Yeah. She accepted my rationale at the time.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. I was more excited about the Quiggle Kix and Athano than I was Vane and Brutus and all the other guys. Like, I don't have any like disdain for the skeleton crew stuff. It's fine content. It's just like it doesn't resonate as well. I don't know. It feels like the Athano and Quiggled and Kix feel more like organic pirates kind of vibe, where it's like Brutus and Vane is like, oh yeah, we needed pirates in this world, so we drew some out of a hat. This is what we came up with.
Depressed Wampa has a question for you. Final question, Karth. Are they planning to keep the testing folks for future testing other than Relic Delta?
Well, so what it sounds like is that as they continue giving us things to test, they want to keep expanding out the testers. So it's like the group is going to continue to grow unless somebody straight up just says, "Hey, I'm out of here." Is what the vibe kind of feels like. It's like, if you guys want to keep going, we're going to keep rolling unless you want out. But I think they're going to keep adding more content creators and more players of that, you know, have a significant influence in the sphere, that have a good, you know, grasp of what's going on. They'll keep adding as they go. We talked about this when you were on Tribe Talks,
Right.
Just like, you know, they are in infant stages. They are very careful about how this proceeds because, again, the last time that we did this, they had very trusted people leak stuff out that they that ruined it. Whether or not that was the right call for them to do is a debatable, you know, aspect for the player side of things. But for CG side of things, you know, they want to make sure that the people that are in the program are loyal to transparency and airing out any issues with them before they just go rogue and decide to take, you know, to the microphone somewhere else and tell people that, hey, I'm not happy with what they're doing. Here's a peek behind the veil I'm not supposed to give you as a way to justify my unhappiness.
Fair. Alright. Yeah, Saldag in the chat says Cassian's Omicron might be the biggest joke in the damn game. Yeah, I mean, requiring all Rogue One is whack. It's definitely a huge underperformer. Yep, no disagreements there. So, Spoken Player Zero says, I would invite Jar Jar and serve Angel food cake and hope he doesn't turn into a mess? Into Etten mess, but he typed, but I don't get that at all.
I don't either.
Wow, this fight is going on for 10,000.
Well, you haven't made a meaningful dent at all.
Shut up. Yeah,
But I mean, at the same time, I don't want to be a dick about this, but you're outside of the enemy turn. For some reason, the AI keeps targeting the chest every once in a while.
yeah, that too, but it also saves me from actually having to manually target to clear said debuff.
Oh, I get where you're at. I'm just, it's interesting because it's like you're dealing so much damage on some of the abilities to that, or mass assisting into it, and it's not doing anything else. But I have no idea. I have no idea how that would help because I don't think you got enough damage to meaningfully clear this in the case.
Makes sense. Lady Geek says, how do I get the CLS lead team to work against the Sector 5 boss? I've not attempted, and I'm going to do my best to not attempt it if possible. I will say I want to think I saw Bit Dynasty get through that just tonight over on his stream. So if you're not already familiar, check out his channel, check out his VOD. And yeah, I want to say he eventually got through with both of those feed teams, and that's probably what you're looking for.
Yeah. And not to distract from Bit doing his own thing, but I believe Scribe has all of his sector videos out as well as all of the global stuff. So those videos I think finished out today as well. So that should be up and live for anybody to view as well.
Nice. Alright guys, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. Before I go ahead and do an abridged version of the shutdown sequence, it has been a privilege to have Karthik drop in on us. Before we go ahead and part ways, what do you have to say to the people?
Well, what I have said to the people is that we are doing Tribe Talks again on Sunday, and I believe our special guest for this week is Egnards. So we're gonna have a little chat over a few things. Again, we'll keep rehashing some of the stuff with Relic Delta as we continue to wait for the release of things, but we'll have him on as a guest, and we'll do some chit-chatting around that. I want to say that Ranger is still doing ACS fundraising over the weekend.
Nice.
He was out doing his mall costume tonight. I don't know if he's going to continue to wear that beyond this, but I believe they were still going to do some fundraising. So if that's the case, you could tune into some of that. Yep. He also has Jedi Academy tomorrow, which I'm pretty sure if it does end up going live, I don't know if he's going to be fully there, but I think I'll be around for that as well. So we'll probably do those two things over the weekend to give you guys a little bit more SWGOH enjoyment. And then that's about all I've got until basically next weekend.
All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like a decent enough bit to keep you busy. Appreciate you joining. And yeah, man, it's really great that you dropped in. I'm glad that you do. And of course, for all of you watching live, you already know that you can catch me here at twitch.tv/Tassenix. I am also live from my YouTube channel, Tassenix Gaming, where if you haven't been there before, you should check it out because there is a whole bunch of SWGOH-related content that you may be interested in. Let me drop the links here for my Discord and for the YouTube. I'm hoping that that's recording. Which side? Doesn't look.
I see the YouTube link on Twitch. See Discord and YouTube on
now reported twice over there. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. But anyways,
it's all there.
Over there,
the important part is that it's there.
Sorry, what was that, man?
I said the important part that it's there.
That is the important part indeed. So over there on my YouTube channel, you will find gems such as the GAC Omicron tier list video, the How to Mod Guide series, starting from 0 and teaching you how to build up a great collection of mods, the Mod Guide videos talking about characters and factions that you guys have requested to see. I just wrapped up the Darth Treya and Friends faction after long last, so I'm getting ready to start on a new Mod Guide journey. We'll see what's coming up in the near future. But in addition to that, it's also a rebroadcasting point for my Grand Arena Focus podcast, Plotting and Scheming, that I make with my friends Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal, where we break down our combats in the thereabouts of the top 100 of Kyber 1. And we'll talk about how we dealt with the meta matchups of the week, our favorite attacks and defenses that we saw out there, our lessons learned for the week to come, and anything else that we think is worth sharing with you. Anything that you enjoy over on the YouTube channel, please do give it a like, hit subscribe to see more. Very much appreciate your support. That is the best way to support the channel. But, if you really like the cut of my jib and you want to go above and beyond to support what I'm doing here, there are a few ways to do so. First up is the Cash App. So that is $Tassenix. Let's see if that link works. Hey, Pills showing up here at the tail end of the stream. This is classic Pills style. 5 gifted subscriptions out. Thank you, man. Good to have you here. Funny you're catching us right at the end again. But yeah, I was just getting ready to roll out. Thank you. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, man. We've been having a good night. We've been having a great night. All right, where was I? So yeah, if all that stuff you enjoy on YouTube, appreciate that. As far as, going above and beyond to support me, I dropped the link for the Cash App. My PayPal, oh my God, another 10 subs out from Pills. Are we on the cusp of another hype train, guys? That's up to you. Pills can't do it alone, but we are looking at something like a hype train already going if we have like 2 more people drop either 100 biddies or a gifted sub. That's about to pop off a hype train at the end of a stream. It wouldn't even be the first time. Appreciate that, Pills. Really, thank you so much. Saldag says, Tass, are you going to let this battle run overnight? No, man, I'm going to close it down. Hey, Pills, bonus bit dono from Twitch. Thank you, man, for the 250 biddies.
I would just like to point out I'm here to obligatorily hijack your stream.
Yes. Welcome to the tail end of the stream, Dagger. You're showing up just as Pills is dropping 15 gift subs, so we're perilously close to a hype train here in the very end of things. But yes, aside from the Cash App, aside from the PayPal, if you want to get some enhanced Grand Arena scouting power for yourself, early access to some of my content, here including plotting and scheming, and some other benefits besides, you may be interested in checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/Tassenix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. At $5 a month, you enter the Tass House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show. That is coming out to our general audience Friday mornings at 8 a.m., but patrons get it as early as Monday night, within hours of recording it. You'll have that early edge going into the first round of the week. In addition, from time to time, I will make a, patron exclusive that you'll have at least a month of exclusivity on before it goes to the general public. And of course, a dedicated voice and text chat on Discord where you will usually find me lurking, so please pop on in and say hi. Holy shit, we started up a hype train. Hills donated Spaceballs, man. I know you're always out there lurking, ready to set up a hype train. Appreciate you. 500 biddies for shits and giggles. Appreciate that, man. Swugga Player asks in the chat, are you about to stream, Dagger? Is that going to be the case, Dagger? That's kind of up to you.
I don't have internet currently, and I will not until Monday. So I will not be streaming until Monday, but I do plan to go live on Monday.
All right. Keep an eye out for Dagger. Let's, let me see if I can do this in the chat. Shout out at Dagger.
That being said, I've been told that people hate me hijacking your stream, so World Series Game 7 tomorrow.
We actually had some people asking about, World Series stuff earlier, so I told them that you were the guy to look up for that because, I am not useful. I am not useful. But
I've
thank
created
you
an
guys.
expectation on your stream to talk about sports ball. I love it.
So first of all, thank you guys for kicking off the hype train. That spurred Pills to drop what looks like another 15 gifted subs. We are up into a level 7 here during the end credits. I'd like to say it's an incredible, unheard of experience, but this wouldn't even be the first time. Thank you guys. This is outrageous.
Thank you so much for your support of Tassenix. It's fantastic.
I really appreciate it, guys. All right, so here at VIP access level, shout out to Andrew, Banja, Boba Iza, Denpool Kyle 28, JJ's Productions Twitch, Jobin4527, Miasmal, Mus Ross, Raise Malbus, Sam Bimes, Sheepdog 47, Squed, Stark Strategy Gamer, Sweens 14, and White Wolf. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. At the start of every one of my Grand Arena streams, I show off that OmegaBot report. Nothing else lets you get such a easy understanding of your opponent's offensive and defensive tendency. Anybody can use that tool to scout their opponent's Grand Arena history, just for their last week for free. But only patrons can build out a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version of the report with links that you can click, taking you right back into swugga.gg or Insight with data pre-sorted, just helping you further minimize your scout time. Alternatively, you could go for the Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is your #1 tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, and Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do, with a powerful automation feature to comprehensively remod your roster. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, a whole bunch of good stuff in there. No wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you so much to Aussie Mike, Darth Salea, Esh Satnakam, JJ's dad, Meow for me, Mr. Tony, Shake23501, Single Malt Jedi, Snack Attack, Striker, Supermard, Trouble Fingers, and Zoltre. At VIP Access Premium, this is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, Omega Bot, and Hot Utils all under one subscription. Getting just those bots anywhere else costs you the same as this bundle, which is why so many of my patrons say this is one of the best values in all of Swugga. Thank you so much to Argots, Arj, Bjorn, Big Ninja, Alvis Invictus, Depressed Wampa, Duckstab, Darthlink, General Milan, Ibanek, Johnny B. Ottawa, Kev, Mini GK, Pills, as seen on TV, Clune, Quig, Rawling, Saldag, Sir Boss, Sophus, Sprizzle, The Lost Swamp Rat, Foreverboy Gaming, and Wilco. At the top of the list, in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper. This madman pops in the stream from time to time, drops hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies, incredibly generous support over the years, crushing hype train after hype train on his own. And of course, Pills, again, Mole Pills, as seen here on tonight's stream, will occasionally pop into stream and just go crazy, especially here towards the end, it seems. Because, here, since I last acknowledged, he dropped another 10 gifted subs. We are into a level 8 hype train during the credits. I shit you not. And that's thanks to the generosity of a few of you joining Pills and kicking off this hype train. But thank you guys so much. And of course, thank you to Pills for the exceptional, incredible support. Special thanks goes out to The Lost Swamp Rat, one of my patrons who has gone above and beyond the Call of Duty, helping me set up my stream deck. Just making life all that much easier in the background, doing what I love doing with you guys. So thank you, man. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether that's bringing me something to eat or drink during stream, or just keeping our daughter from tearing the house apart while I'm trying to be the very best, like no one ever was, at a phone game. And of course, to my co-hosts on the Plotting and Scheming podcast, Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, it is always a pleasure and a privilege to record our show together every week. I learn from you every episode. Hopefully the feeling is occasionally mutual, but regardless, it's not about us. It's about the folks that DM me on a nearly daily basis to say, hey, I saw your show. I saw that latest episode, and what you guys were talking about helped me win my round, so thanks. It's about those comments, guys, and we're making a difference out there. So thank you. Despite the pressures of work and family, show up and get our show done every week. Guys are still there. We're still getting it done. A difference. Wouldn't change a thing. All right. Heading back on over to the main scene. While we've been grinding through the outro, this has been running and we killed another couple of the troopers. I shit you not. This is actually probably going to get through the first stage. I think we're probably gonna just time out on the second stage, but I don't think this is something worth making you all suffer through. That's largely up to you. I guess Pills is still taking us up to dizzying new heights of hype train. We are now at a level 9 hype train. That's another 20 gifted subs? Something in total coming out from Old Pills. I don't know where we're at. If I had to ballpark it, somewhere around 50 or 60, but holy crap, man. Thank you. Another 250 biddies from Pills to be mentioned in the same strata as Nomads is an honor. Please tell me that I gave you the special role on Discord to the right account. I gave it to Pills. If it should go to Mole Pills, let me know. I'll get that fixed, but you get the special glowy role for being a top supporter, man. I really appreciate that. Another 10 gifted subs out from Mole Pills. The madness continues. I'm telling you guys, this month, especially from Pills, hopefully, if you're watching this stream, you probably have a gifted sub. But the problem is, you haven't told your friends. You haven't told your grandma. You haven't told that third cousin twice removed to show up to the Tassenix gaming stream and just be gifted a random sub, because this shit is happening. Mole Pills, what does that do on Discord? Oh, it's Plume, one of my other patrons, decided to gift a couple boosts to my Discord to pick up that new cosmetic role. It's something where certain roles can be lit up with either a special effect or like a gradient color. And for my top supporters, I gave you guys the holographic effect. So hopefully you're seeing that. Hopefully you'll. Hey, Danos, how you doing, man? Haha, what the heck is going on? Got an email gifting a sub? Yeah, I believe that. I bet your grandma that's like been dead and gone 10 years, just got a sub. So I believe that, man. Long time no talk. Yeah, hope all is well with you, Danos. Seriously, hope it's been good. I know you were super busy last time we talked. You were at a really busy point in life, and hopefully things are more normal for you. Glad to hear. Glad to hear you're here, man. Yeah, Pills, thank you so much, man. We are just flying off the... Oh shit. We've gone up to a level 11 hype train. 57% through. Wow, guys. Wow. We are seeing some names I don't even recognize. People that might have followed in the distant past and haven't watched in years. Probably getting subs right now. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, exactly. Mole Pill's going crazy. Exactly. Hey, Swugga Player, redeemed a hydrate. I actually could knock back a bit more of this water. I worked through most of this bottle of wine. My wife likes to deglaze the cast iron pan when she's making me up a steak. And I could save this last, 40% of the bottle of wine to help with that. So I think I'm about good on wine for this. Water it is. Yes, this battle is going... holy shit, I didn't realize we were in stage 2, and we already killed some of the characters? Guys, I have no idea what...
Don't worry, Pills. Tass is not Ranger. He only does so much democracy to embarrass himself.
Oh my god, we're actually winning this fight just on memes. Let it be known, I kind of winged this. You guys saw. This is the one with Vandor and what is it, Young Han? And usually I'm successful in this fight at considerable effort using Ray. I want to say L3 and Vandor. And holy shit, just putting these three guys in on random. I'm sorry, on auto. With those two eventually got this done. So I have no idea. Hey, Pills, I see you joined us here in Discord. How you doing, man? First of all, thank you so much for your launching us into space with this hype train. So thank you, man.
Well, you're welcome. Just wanted to say hi. I figured there's no better way to screw up your evening than doing that. And so the answer to the weird math question is I leveled it off and even 100 gifted tonight.
Kind of quiet. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble understanding you.
Nope. So I'm just saying I leveled off at even 100 gifted. So that was tonight's
incredible
contribution.
Thank you. It's really appreciated. That's why we give you the shout out.
Well, since you were doing the math, right? I figured let's not make you do more math after some wine.
I appreciate it because you're talking about like a lot of wine involved with the math. So I appreciate you helping me keep it straight.
Sometimes in vino is not in veritas. So
yeah, I mean in vino veritas, but perhaps like not in vino principia mathematica. Like you're not probably not doing a lot of calculations while Uncle Wasty Pants, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so
fair. That's fair. Man, yes, yeah, Dano's in the chat says, oh, Dagger's there. Well, time to leave. Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm here too, so Danos can exit
unrelated
stage
note.
too.
On a completely unrelated note, did you see Charles just stripped Andrew of like everything?
Oh yeah, that was I thought that was yesterday's news. But
Was
yeah,
it
I
yesterday?
saw that. I saw
that.
that. I mean, honestly, I thought it surprising that it took that long because the reason they're doing it ultimately now is ahead of any type of trial and ahead of any type of conviction. You're fucking up the brand, man. You gotta go. You gots to go.
You are a plebeian like the rest of these people.
I mean, effectively now because of your actions, whether or not it rises to the level of legal, conviction of guilt, it's risen above the level of suspicion, and so you gots to go. You can't be fucking up the family brand.
That woman's memoir mentioned him a bunch.
Yeah, true. Guys, we are just continuing on with this hype train. We are level 12, 3% into a level 12 hype train. I'm keeping this stream on as long as you guys want to keep the train rolling. You got Pills front-loading us on this hype train. Your support is always appreciated, never required, never expected. But seriously, I mean, really, it means a lot.
Understood.
So, we'll keep this. I'll keep the lights on as long as you guys want to keep the lights on.
And just remember, Pills, you can say whatever you want here. I can still time you out here. It'll just be, more obvious, and I might get yelled at more.
Shut up. Shut up.
Other TB fights to do.
Go back to the North Pole Ginger Santa.
That's all you got, man. That's all you got. Oh, my night was also filled with a lot of wine and also alcohol.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I think I have my clearance to deploy.
Hey, Dan. Wow. And hey, Danos. And just for good measure, Danos. It's been a while.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, Danos.
Because it's been a while, Danos, I just want to let you know that I miss you this much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We just wrapped up a level 12 hype train at the tail end of the stream. Before we go ahead and close down and get ready to raid out, Pills, again, thank you for, the surprise drop in here at the end and basically hard carrying us to this level 12 hype train. Anything else you want to say to the people before we get ready to jump ship? Because I've done all the other necessary outro stuff.
I would say, after years of stuff, or actually being carried in the guild, I might as well hard carry on the stream. So, turnabout is fair play, as they say.
You are the champion of the evening, so I appreciate that a lot. I'm checking over here on YouTube, guys. It doesn't look like anybody's live, so I think I'm gonna end up having to drop you into the abyss. My sincerest apologies. Let's get ready to raid you guys out here on Twitch. Is literally anyone alive? Third? Right category. Galaxy?
What works better to soak up alcohol? Cheese, like string cheese or cheese curds?
Cheese curds, because they're fried, and fried things are covered in bread, and bread things absorb alcohol. That's my story. Okay. I'm sticking to it.
Unless he's raw dogging cheese curds that aren't fried.
There you go. Why did this do this?
To avoid any kind of hangover. Well, I'm trying to avoid a massive hangover tomorrow.
Oh, I believe you. Okay. Okay. So here's what it is. We have nothing big going on in the game, and there's nobody else live. So there's actually nobody else for me to send you guys to. This might be the first time ever that's actually been the case.
So interesting. If you want to go outside of the game,
sure. You got a friend you want me to send it to?
Well, Yeti's live doing Battlefront.
Oh well, shit. I mean, Yeti's a good friend. How's he branded? Yeti? What is it? Big Yeti? Isn't that his brand?
Big Yeti Network. Big Yeti
Network on Battlefront 2. Guys, Yeti, if you're from back in the day, he was a Swugga player, and he's retired some time ago, but he still pops in and keeps in touch with us here in the community from time to time. Let's go ahead and send him over some love. Getting ready to raid out here over on Twitch. Thanks, guys, for showing up. I had a lot of fun answering your questions, and of course, always a pleasure to have a surprise appearance here from Pills and all of you that chose to donate. Real gravy on top of the whole evening. You make these Conquest and chill streams feel worth it. So thank you guys so much. Until next time. I'm sorry. What's that? What
Ask
you
me
got?
1 second. I just want to give a little shout out to Karthik.
Oh,
He made
please, yes.
He made a massive dono to Rangers ACS stream.
I saw that.
and I just wanna say,
Congratulations to you, man.
what a huge gesture. I mean, I did my match, but he went above and beyond my match. So
Yeah, I
great on you,
appreciate
man.
it because it's an amazing gift to give for an incredibly worthy cause, and also fuck you,
Yes.
Karthik, for making me feel like a bum for giving $100. So I just want to point that out.
Oh well, normally what I like to do when Rangers got those
Shut
long.
up, asshole. Just say okay, thank you, and
No, I appreciate what I like to do though is I like to do the matching. I like to do matches when but I just had absolutely no time today to get into it. So I literally showed up like the last hour he was in there. I was like, fuck it, here you go.
Well, so I agreed to a match also, but I couldn't figure out how to set it up. So I said, screw it. You're just gonna get a dump, and there it was. So.
Yeah, the way the website the way Tiltify handles the match is interesting. And it
listen, it's a cause close to my heart. My mother is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, so
yeah. No, I hear you. My mom won it the first time, lost it the second time, so
no,
I can resonate with that. She passed back in 2018, but the cause is worth it. So if I don't wail on Swolga for a month, I think I'll live.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So,
well, the time is naturally rolled over, so I think everybody watching has rolled into Yeti. But again,
lovely.
Thank you, both of you, and Dagger as well, for joining me here tonight. And I had a lot of fun here. So thank you.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
When I got home, I saw that you were still streaming and thought that it was proper to make sure that I hijacked your stream.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hang out on Discord for a little bit when I'm done here because I still got to straighten out
dumbass
before I
shitter
pass out.
Bringing it up.
But yeah.
Oh no, this is just for that dumbass shitter who keeps bringing it up.
Fair enough. All right, guys, let me hit that button over here on OBS. And again, thanks for showing up. And until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.